Recording in progress. All right. Welcome, everybody. Just make sure we're on. Yeah, we are online. Wow, that's happening quicker and quicker each time. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody to Hash Church Season 12, Episode 8. We are in it. Got to start as a Canadian by congratulating the Americans who won the gold medal game today in Milano. Wow, I watched it with my son. It was so exciting. We had such a good time. Crushed when they scored the goal. Hughes, though, that's our guy. He was a Vancouver Canuck for many years. So I'm not going to go on hockey for too long because it is a sensitive subject as a Canadian, just having lost. But that's okay. We are going to shout out our sponsors here because we couldn't do it without them. Or could we? Well, we might be able to. I did do it for 10 years without them, but it wouldn't be as fun to have these guys in our corner. So let me just get things rolling here and we'll go over our little sponsorships. Shout out to these guys. We are going to give a spoon away today. I have decided from the press club because those are the best spoons in the game. Even my wife was like, I'd like another one of those spoons just for cooking. She loves it. All right. So today's episode of Hash Church is proudly supported by the press club. California brothers obsessed with hash and everything solventless, just like us. Their journey didn't start as a business. It started as a family back in 2014 when a loved one wasn't finding relief through conventional medicine. They turned back to the plant they'd respected their whole lives. They knew cannabis had medical power, but they needed medicinal power, but they needed something cleaner. That search led them to solventless, using nothing but water, heat, and pressure to let the plant express itself honestly. That light bulb moment turned into washing, pressing, experimenting, and eventually realizing how hard it was to find truly quality rosin bags and solventless tools that were made in America and still affordable. So they did what real hash heads do. They built the solution themselves. The Press Club stands for clean, process, conscious intention, and tools made by people who actually live this culture, not corporations chasing trends. We're grateful to have the press club supporting Hash Church and the wider solventless community, family run, purpose driven, and rooted in why hash matters in the first place. Much love to the press club, and thanks for really supporting us the way you do. At Hash Church, we talk a lot about ritual respect for the plant and elevating that experience. That's exactly why we're proud to be supported by Puffco. Puffco continues to set the standards for modern consumption with tools built for people who truly care about flavor, temperature, and intentional use. For the Puffco Peak Pro with the 3D XL bowl delivering consistent heat, bigger hits, and unmatched terp expression, to the Proxy, redefining modular ritual-based consumption, and the Pivot, bringing true Puffco performance into a compact everyday format. These aren't gadgets, they're purpose-built tools for hash and solventless, and we're very, very grateful for Puffco's continued support of Hash Church, our guests, and our community. Their beliefs in education, culture, and quality helps us keep these conversations alive. You can support the brands that support the culture by visiting www.puffco.com to explore their lineup and experience what intentional design really feels like. Puffco, elevate the ritual. Well, we wouldn't be here at Hash Church without the pioneers who helped define solventless extraction, and bubble bags are a cornerstone of that history. We've helped introduce the world to ice water extraction, giving growers and hash makers a simple, effective way to separate resin using nothing but water, ice, and agitation. Decades later, that's 3 decades, our bags remain a trusted tool for people who care about purity, process, and tradition. From home run to professional washes, bubble bags continue to support solventless craft, allowing the plant to speak for itself. We're pretty proud to be supported by Bubble Bags and grateful for their ongoing support of Hash Church, our guests, and the global hash community. Their commitment, our commitment to quality and accessibility has empowered generations of makers. You can support the brands that built the culture by visiting www.bubblebag.com and explore our extraction bags and accessories. Keep the solventless tradition alive. Bubble bags, water, ice, hash. I'm not sure why it says that at the end of that, but today I'm going to read it and say it. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Hopefully my email went out last night. I don't see a single person in the room yet. Sometimes I forget, not gonna lie. So let me just quickly send out this to a few of my regulars. Maybe Colin might be waiting to come in. Maybe Dr. Mark might be waiting to come in. Maybe Etienne might be waiting to come in. So I'll just send those out real quick. And then I guess what I'll do is I will talk to you myself. Because let's be honest, I can do it. All right, just get those few invites out. I'm going to go real quick and check into my email to make sure that that email got sent yesterday. It does look like it got sent. Yes, yes, yes. Perfect. Excellent. All right. Well, I mean, shit, I guess we should start it with a bowl, maybe. I got a whole schwack of stuff here. Let me bring the chat back into play. There we go. Bingo Lombardi holding it down. Sorry for giving you a hard time today, Bingo. We're a little testy when we lose it at hockey, you know, especially a big 4-year gold medal game. A little bit testy. So I'll try to hold my ground today when we have all my Americans come in and rub it in my face that we lost. It is what it is. Oh, here comes one now. Let's get him in here. Let's get him in here. I'm going to be hitting out of this little guy today. Ooh-wee. How's that for a... How you doing, Dr. Mark? You got your good microphone out again, I hope? Get that good microphone out. Yes, Bingo was happy. I'm sure there was many who were happy. A whole country full. Oh, there's the reverb from Dr. Mark.
Hey. Okay, hold on. Let me get my headphones on just a second.
Yes, beautiful. Beautiful. I'm going to just mute him up real quick while he's doing that so we don't have that reverberation. And I guess I'm going to hit the pipe that Boro just was not happy with today in the chat. Sorry about that, Boro, that it didn't work for you, but I got this new link and I'm definitely going to hit it. I've been having fun with it, actually. And yes, it's probably a little bit too big for my pipe, but it fits. It works. I'm using it. Let's do a quick little dabberoonie. Yes, you won a big hockey thing, Fictitious Freedom. Big game to win. Gold medal game, really. Which, when you get the silver medal in hockey, you're not stoked. I don't think anyone's stoked, really, when you lose gold. That's what the silver medal is. It means you lost first. You lost.
All right,
so the Canadians will definitely not be overly happy about that today.
Let's see. Let me try this again.
Oh my goodness. Nice episode last week. I don't know if any of you went and checked out Vanessa's book, but yeah, I sent out the link to quite a few people. Looks like there's some really good information in there. I might have to do a video with her on cooking, just a video where she can do a simple, overreaching, beautiful link that I can just send out to people when they say, what's the best way to make edibles? Silver medal is the first losers. That's right, dude. You are not.
Can you hear me, Mark?
I can hear you. It's a little quiet, though. You don't have your good mic on? Oh, there's your mic. Maybe you got to turn it up a bit. It looks muted too. It's got that red light on it. There's a button on the mic usually. You can mute both through your mic and through the... There, I can hear you now. You hit it.
How about now?
It's pretty good, but is there a dial on your mic to turn it up?
There is.
Yeah, turn that up a tiny bit.
Let me turn it up here. How about now? Does that sound better? You know what? I should plug my headphones into here. Let's do
that. Excuse me.
Wow, that sounds so much better. Oh my God. Can you hear me? Yeah.
I can. It's quiet.
Is it too loud? It might be too loud.
Holy shit. I just turned red.
Wait a second. This seems weird.
Holy Christ. I'm dying while Dr. Mark's trying to get his shit working. He's muted now. But muted through...
Now I'm muted.
Now you're not muted. I don't know. Does everyone hear him as quiet as I hear him? I want to just find out, because if it's only me, it doesn't matter.
Well,
if it's the whole group, then we want to make sure we...
Is it like not coming through at all? It's just echoey?
It's coming through. There's no echo at all. It's just really quiet.
Oh, really?
Oh, Hash Matty says it's good. Maybe it's good. Turn it up to 11. He is low. Okay, so it is low.
11. Oh my God. I don't know if I should turn anything up to 11.
Yeah, that's really quiet.
How about that hockey game, Mark? Wasn't it awesome?
It was a crusher, dude. We were, my son and I were watching since 6 a.m. By the way, I'm crying 2 tears right now, not for the hockey, but from that rip I just took from the link. So I don't know, dude. Pretty hardcore smoker.
Yeah,
But
it
yeah, that
was. It
hockey game
was.
was incredible. It was very sad. It'll reverberate through Canada for many months of sadness over that game. That was a rough loss.
I've really been enjoying the Olympics this time around. It seems. I
Me
mean, I
too.
don't know. Maybe it's just as I get older and farther away from being able to achieve such athletic accomplishment,
Right?
I enjoy watching it.
Ooh,
you know.
me too. I mean, not all of it. A lot of it I don't enjoy at all. But I mean, winter sports. I'm a Canadian, so obviously, when it comes to,
Yes.
I've been really impressed with Japan and China and Korea in snowboarding. They were just crushing it, dude, knocking everyone off the podium, winning all the medals. Just really like stepped into it. Like, yeah, this is we're taking this over.
Yeah. Who'd have thought that snowboarding would be such a sensation, right?
Oh, we got to get Dr. Mark talking louder. What is going
Oh,
on?
really? Is it
If you're that
still?
close to the mic, it's good, but it's so quiet. Why
What is
have you
going
thought of
on?
going into the computer, your audio, and clicking on
Okay.
that audio button on the bottom left, and then
Yeah.
clicking on audio settings, and then it's going to show you a full thing, and it'll have a button called output volume, and you may or
Okay.
may not be able to control that button.
All right. Let me see if I can. It looks like I can.
Yeah, if you can slide that up, you're laughing. I can't. Mine is locked,
Yeah, it's
unfortunately.
peaked.
And mine's not
Yes,
even like mine's like that far of that, and it's not. It won't. I can't move it. Can you move yours?
it's peaked. I'm going to turn up the microphone all the way. How's
Yeah,
that? Is that better?
it's better.
Okay.
100%. And then just try not to talk too soft, I guess.
I could hear myself though. It's weird.
Oh, that is weird. You've got your own reverberation.
Right, exactly. So I'm like in dark side of the moon here.
Where's your microphone that you're using? It's right in front of you. So you have a
Right.
mic in headphones and you're still hearing yourself. That's really trippy.
Yeah, you know what? Let me
You know
plug
what? For
my
someone who likes
headphones
music as much as you probably have a sound guy in your life.
here.
Oh,
All right,
someone
I'm
just said
changing
perfect,
my
Dr. Mark.
headphones. Hold on a second. Let's go to headphones.
Windows settings. Yeah, so many different ways for it to come at you. It could be in the microphone, it could be
There we
in the
go.
Zoom, it could be in the operating
Yeah,
system.
that's right. Is that better? Can you hear me?
I mean, it's
You
for
can hear
me. I
me?
can I can hear you. I've got headphones on. I suspect some people listening with speakers and stuff.
Right.
Someone said Dr. Mark's mic is definitely better now.
Okay. All right, that's cool. Well, let's go with that. I don't know. I'll just make sure I'm totally audible, I guess. Or as audible as I possibly can. I don't want to turn this thing up anymore. I
No, but
shouldn't
what
have
we
to.
should do is one of these days during the week, we should have one of your sound guy
Yeah.
savants. Get Mike Gordon over there and be
Yeah,
like, "Hey,
right.
Mike, I need you to come over to my house and fix
Yeah.
my fucking setup here."
Yeah, I
He'll
don't know if
put
you
like foot pedals in for you, bro. He'll have like Chris will come in and put lights behind you.
right, exactly. Um I don't know,
He's got
like
the pedal.
yeah, I actually I don't know if you saw I took a snowshoe yesterday out onto Lake Champlain, which is frozen.
I didn't see
So
that.
yeah, so it's kind of cool. You could walk out on Lake Champlain. It's really nice because there's lots of ice and snow, and it's really thick. So you can walk out, and there's people driving vehicles out there, and ice fishing, and all kinds of winter lake kind of stuff. So I could actually walk over to Mike Gordon's beach from where I live because he's right across the bay.
That's
But
sick,
I
dude.
wouldn't do that. That's stalking, totally, right?
I like to leave famous people completely alone
Exactly.
and not bother
Unless they come
them.
up to
And
you.
yeah, I don't like
Yeah,
going backstage unless I'm invited by like the band. Otherwise,
he
it's an
eats
awkward, horrible experience.
he eats all the time at the restaurant where my daughter waits in Burlington called
Mm.
Stone Soup, and Mike will just come in by himself, and be on his cell phone and order food and, just eat and be totally by himself. No one bothers him. He just sits there. Sometimes Paige does too. So it's interesting. They never come in together, but they come in separately, and they just, just like a regular person.
Well,
It's
they are
crazy.
just regular people. That's the
Exactly. They
problem,
are.
right?
That's
It's
the
only
point,
the
right?
perspective of the mass populace that alters and changes that. And then
Right.
everyone has to, go about it differently. Mike, from day one, always went about it differently. He always, like, I remember seeing Mike in the 90s walking in the crowd, like, all the
Yeah.
time. He just walk
Yeah.
around in the crowd. And when they got famous in the late 90s, like when they really started to blow up, he still kept doing it. I
Yeah.
noticed that about him. And it was neat because the crowd would regulate the crowd.
Yeah.
If there was someone that got too excited, people would just be like, don't do that. Like, just leave him alone
Right. Well, he would come through like on the golf cart out, in the
on the
major,
golf cart.
shakedown scene going on outside the shows that are just, hundreds, if not thousands of people just all hanging out, partying, sucking on nitrous balloons, eating veggie burritos and grilled cheeses and,
Oh, fuck.
buying trinkets and glass. And it still is just, I think about it, man. I mean, just such a major impact that like the Grateful Dead scene had on concert, attending.
Thank
Usually,
God.
yeah,
Thank
yeah.
God.
Well,
Could
there
you
was
imagine
always
if concerts were just like what a
right.
Madonna concert is?
There was always like tailgating, right? Even at sporting events, you'd
Sure.
show up there with coolers full of beer and some
Got to give
sandwiches
that
or
one to the
something.
footballers.
Exactly, exactly. It's
Nobody
interesting.
tailgates
Yeah.
like the football, the
Well,
college football and
absolutely. Professional football. I mean, these guys do it right. They go out there with their grills and their smokers and smoke a bunch of meat and, bring living room furniture out there and all kinds of electronics and music and shit. It's unbelievable what some people go through to tailgate. But it's interesting how that whole culture, again, you knew it was a Grateful Dead concert and not like, Bruce Springsteen or, Police or, I don't know. I'm just thinking back in the day, you knew it was just a completely different phenomena because it was just overwhelming that there was this circus city of vending and food and just partying going on. And, I think it
dude, think about
attract
it. Think about what was it called, first of all?
Shakedown Street.
Shakedown
Yeah.
Street. And think of
Yeah.
what did the police do
Yeah.
on Shakedown Street?
Shakes people down, right?
Holy Christ. It was
Yeah.
almost named for them more than
Yeah.
us
Yeah.
because we
Yeah.
weren't shaking each other down. We were
Yeah.
like,
Now
it should have been called like something else,
six up,
Fuck,
right?
6 up, bro.
6 up, right? Right.
I
You hear
learned
six
that.
up, right? Well, what did that? Where did that come from, Marcus?
I have
Six
no
up.
idea, but I
Yeah.
heard it in the early 90s in
Yeah.
America, not like if you heard it in Canada, it was from an American
Right.
that had come up to the show. Like we didn't have a police culture in Canada that had figured out, oh, this band Fish is coming, we have to go arrest a bunch
Right.
of people. But in
Right.
America, it was
Yeah.
like this thing, right? It's like Grateful Dead. It's like
Everyone with easy targets, right? Those
oh
people
my God,
people are going to
shooting
have a ton of
fish in
drugs
a
and
barrel,
yeah,
bro.
exactly.
So terrible in that sense. And I know that I really feel I don't know any of these people, dude. I don't know the Grateful Dead or Fish personally in any way, but I gotta feel that part weighed heavy on them.
Well,
Like
yeah, I
people just
mean,
getting arrested in the parking lot and doing 10 years. I mean, yes, you can be like, hey, you shouldn't have brought in drugs to a fish show, but you could also be like, ugh, we got to figure out a way to kind of try and protect the people that are coming here because it wasn't always the people who were going to hardcore monetize. Like it was often just regular people, just good people, hardworking people that were on, vacation, having their
mhm.
summer or whatever, doing tour. And now all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, dude. I'll be honest, like back in the day, and I'm guessing that doesn't happen anymore. But back in the 90s, like you'd go to a show and be like, oh, where's so and so? And they'd be like, oh, like he's gone. Like, what do you
Oh
mean
yeah,
he's gone? Like, well,
yeah,
just for 10 years. It's like, what? Like, from a Canadian perspective, we couldn't wrap our heads around that shit, dude.
yeah. Yeah, well, in I think it was 1990,
Dude.
maybe 1990, 1991.
Yeah.
It was around that time. The DEA had a project called
I don't know. I
Dead
can't think of
End.
anything.
Yeah.
And Dead End was, yes, going out on Dead Tour and busting people in the crowd. I mean, like, I want to say it was Three Rivers Stadium. It was the summer 1990 show. It was Crosby, Stills, and Nash were warming up for the Dead. And it was between the Crosby, Stills, Nash and the Grateful Dead set. And we were sitting there, and a friend of mine from Shasta, Pizza Man Ron, was rolling a joint, and the guy sitting next to him was taken out of the crowd by a bunch of windbreakers. Just came and grabbed this one guy that was
Jesus.
sitting next to us. Yeah, it was super harsh. We were just like, whoa, like it scared the shit out of us. But turned out he was like some wanted dude with warrants in several states, and they had followed him into the show, and they were following him around. And because it was during the break, they kind of amassed their team and got enough people in there that they can grab him. But yeah, he went away, and yeah, I know a couple people who their lives totally got fucked up out on tour.
Yeah.
And yeah, and they weren't doing really bad shit, but it just, when it all comes down to it, we were easy targets for them because they're like, oh, Grateful Dead's coming into town. They could easily bust, 20, 30 people and get them for multiple charges, doing all kinds of shit. So yeah, it was, different time. But
Absolutely. As we're talking about fish, Wilson pops right in.
yeah, there we go.
Wilson. I had to mute him because he came in chatty. He's doing some I don't know if his camera's not working or something, but we're
Yeah, we
here.
haven't really seen that on Fish Tour per se. The thing I've seen at Fish Tour that I think has been for most outdoor venues is that when you first pull into your parking spot, sometimes they have like a group of police, like undercovers, that come around right when they're parking people, and you have to be careful just to not pop some beers or just do anything illegal right when you park and get, because usually there's a team of undercovers that goes around and busts people. But I don't think that's unique to Fish. They do that at all kinds of shows, and whatever. I mean, they get a quota of people, Mark, and take them away, and concert goers are easy target for them, right? Anyway.
Anyway, sorry, I'm typing, talking to Edgar in the chat room there. He was saying the Hayes show was excellent. I was like, we got to do more like specific shows on these, like, like a cool show, in my opinion, would be, and it would be in the branch of the exotic narrow-leaf drug cultivar Hayes, aka sativas, would be lamb's bread, Jamaican lamb's bread, and the story behind that from a bunch of different perspectives. But I'd have to find some old school dudes, man. Maybe Kid
Yeah.
Asai, maybe some of the elders from Jamaica. Maybe Archie knows some of these older guys that are like connected still, that have their story.
Or you could do the Chem Dog Diesel story. We
I
know
think we would
those
do that
guys,
for
right?
sure. That would be
Joe
like,
and Greg, get those guys on.
yeah,
Get JJ and
there he is.
Weasel's around. Yeah, the whole Sour D crew is all still around. No one's died yet, I don't think.
Ah,
So
well,
uh,
they're all gonna.
yeah, well, it's mortality
That's
is
how it goes.
certainty in life. That's
Absolutely.
right. So
How you
this is
doing?
Wilson.
That's Masonic Smoker in the house, dude.
I figured it out. I had my wife connect me. How you guys doing? Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, dude. All
Hey, good
praise the
morning.
wives. Please, please, all praise the
Yes,
wives.
Yeah,
they're the
I
best.
was having a
Oh
little
my
panic
God, dude.
attack. I just called the professional. Come do it.
It's like there's so much stuff I can do for my wife, but there's like things that I really, really, really am so grateful for her for. My goodness. It's good to have a partnership where you do what you're good at and they do what they're good at, and you put it together and create these synergistic good at things.
Yin and yang, right?
Yin and
100%.
yang. Absolutely. Yeah, so
But
yeah, Edgar made a call, did a cross. Tell him about the Wilson. I don't think Dr. Mark knows about Wilson.
No, I don't.
so so the Wilson is a cross I made with a papaya feminized, like one of the original papaya fem offerings that was available to the public, and the Tropicana seed stock, the original Tropicana seed stock that a lot of people are familiar with. And I crossed the feminized papaya leaner into a Tropicana Mel, And I was just having fun playing with seeds, hanging out with people that I like to smoke with, and growing their type of beans and being a team player. And those two varieties had a nice like stride going for them. That crossing them together was something that was feasible new material for the network. And a lot of people like they gravitated towards that energy. Me, I'm just going with emotions. I'm just growing pot. I called it Banana OG Papaya Trop when I released it. And then the guy I was working with, Oni, he was more into like marketing and just like putting a name to it and doing the whole rollout more cohesive. And he's all like, "Oh, we're gonna call this one Wilson," and that kind of turned into a life of its own because it turns out Wilson is like a fish song, and I'm like a I didn't grow up around fish. I didn't grow up around the dead. I grew up in South Central LA, and that came into my life like till I hopped on Instagram. I would see all the weed homies post deadhead this, deadhead that, and then one day I'm just like, "Yo, I want to listen to this that you guys listen to," and this one guy recommended. He's like, "Oh, try listening to it like on a Sunday afternoon when you're chilling." And that didn't work that one time. But then one time, like this deadhead homie of mine, his name is Buddy Kilowatt, Ben. He's been to like 600 dead shows. He's like, this all transitioned into a dead show because you're Mark and it's called Wilson. But either way, like that got me into like he invited me to a dead show. We're at the pit, we're watching them like do their thing, and that's when I learned to like the dead. But Wilson is like a fish song name. I didn't mean it to be a fish song name. It turned into a life of its own. Tom Hanks is like on the algorithm like throughout life. Like he's not just like a quiet actor. He's always on the TV, and there's always a Wilson thing happening like on the algorithm on the phone. So it's always like relevant, and it's like, oh, the things that remind you of the brand as you're going through a daily thing in life. Like it just so happened to be a nice thing to, represent my things that I've done. So
dude,
Wilson
it
just turned
represents
into a
you
life
to a fucking T, bro. It's totally your energy. If someone tried to create that and was sitting in a boardroom in New York going, "We're marketing geniuses. We've been checking out the algorithm. This algorithm hits in these two." Nobody in their right mind would have ever come up with that, dude. But it happens to you because you're just fucking chill. You're like, "I'm just doing my thing, growing weed, and then all this other stuff is just happening." It's like, yeah, dude, it's the vibration. I swear there's something to be said about growing your own weed, having an effect on the crystalline structure of THCA and the expression of the plant by being who you are.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
fucking awesome, dude.
I embrace me, I embrace the story. That's the story. I wish it was I don't even wish it was a different story because that's the story. Like
Dude, it's your
All right.
story. It's the best you story there is. You're the only you could possibly be.
Do you know how like the importance of Wilson in the whole story of the man who stepped into
This is going to be so
yesterday,
good.
aka Game Hedge? So
So time out. Before you
yeah,
go into the story,
yeah.
prequel
Wilson.
a little bit. So Trey, the lead guitarist for Fish, for his like, what was it, for his master's or his thesis or something?
His senior thesis for
His senior
his
thesis.
degrees. Right?
He wrote something, right? He wrote something called Gamehenge.
No, the man who stepped into
that's
yesterday.
Right. Sorry, you're right. You take it from here, Dr. Mark.
Yeah, so it's often referred to as Gamehenge because Gamehenge was this mystical place in, like Marcus said, Trey's story that he was writing about for his senior thesis, which was this completely made up story about this magical place called Gamehenge. And yeah, so Wilson plays a role in that. He's kind of like the Ronald Reagan of the story, so it's kind of like naming your weed Ronald Reagan. That's the first thing I thought of was Ronald Wilson Reagan, So Wilson is the evil King Wilson, and you see, he stole the Helping Friendly book from the lizards, and so then they sent Colonel Forbin and the famous Mockingbird to go get the Helping Friendly book from
all of these
King
are
Wilson.
Songs, Edgar. Everything he just said,
right.
The famous Mockingbird, Colonel Forbin,
right?
They're all fucking songs, and the odd time
it's a saga.
Lucky, you might get a whole Gamehenge set. Continue, Dr. Mark.
Yeah. So it's a saga, like Marcus said. Like there's several songs, fish songs, like the sloth is again a Game Hen song. Llama is a Game Hen song. There's so many songs in Fish's catalog that are relevant to Trey's senior thesis because this is when he first started. He was a student of Ernie Steyer's up here in Vermont and learning composition and playing these, really, complex fugues. Wilson is not very complex. Wilson is very noted by the E major da 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 da, and then the whole crowd goes Wilson. So I mean, if you got the strain Wilson, you're loving that. I mean, it's just like everyone's saying the strain. Everybody in that arena is saying Wilson. Now that's a phenomena that didn't start until Madison Square Garden, 12/30/94. That was the first real time. There was some before that. It would just be you'd hear the da 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 da, and then the band would go Wilson in kind of like a falsetto voice. But yeah, so Wilson is a character who's repeated through several Fish songs because I know in like Punch You in the Eye, they say, "Oh Wilson, da da da, punch you in the eye," right? So there's like so many references to Wilson throughout their catalog of songs that is all about the Game Hen saga. And I don't know what to say. I mean, 2 New Year's ago, they did the entire Game Hedge, Marcus. It was great. It was beautiful. And they had a Broadway actress up there kind of like narrating like she was Jimmy's mom. And, they incorporated the story of Harpua, right, which is another saga about a dog and a cat and some evil man. It's just, yeah. So all just, imaginary kind of places that Fish music goes on to.
So dead.
Yeah. It's
Harpua.
funny because I don't think they ever thought that they would become as big and as famous.
No,
as
because
they
they
did.
weren't trying to. They were doing the same thing Edgar's doing. They were just playing music. He's just
Right.
growing weed. They're just going through
Right.
the motions. If people like it, great.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
somehow their paths have crossed.
yeah. Well, they were here in Burlington in a really great time to be in Burlington. I mean, and when you talk to, I don't know. I mean, I guess same thing happened with the Dead in San Francisco. I mean, there's just kind of like this whole renaissance that happens around bands like that. Like Fish couldn't have happened in say like Kentucky or something, right? Or like it had to happen. Like there was a unique intersection of things going on here in Burlington at the time. And yeah, man, it's such a cool thing. So yeah, so your strain Wilson is reverberated throughout the Fish catalog, and that's a really cool thing. And while Evil King Wilson is definitely kind of like the villain of the story, he's it's kind of like what Garcia used to say, which is that you can't define good without defining evil, right? So you have to define what evil is in order to define what good is, right?
And choosing the lesser of two evils is still choosing
it's still
evil.
choosing evil, but let's face it, lesser evil is better than more evil.
If you want to choose evil, it is.
Right.
Unless there's another way. I don't know. I don't pretend to know. It's interesting that I suspect if cannabis was more legal, like booze, so many songs would have their own weed. Like so, there'd be so many like puffin. I remember how awesome it was to puff blueberry and listen to Ludacris Blueberry Yum Yum. I remember just being like, this is peak experience right now. I'm smoking the weed that he's singing about right now. And it's just a cool thing. Wilson, like, come on, dude. Who's not bringing Wilson herb to a Fish show? You're totally fucked if you don't do that. Hey, what are you puffing on, Wilson? No.
That's
Holding
so
up the
cool.
joint. I
That's
bet you it's
super
happened
dope.
so many times. What's that?
I
Edgar?
think the
That's
game henge ganj is what we're holding out for or something. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Wilson's pretty good. Welcome, Etienne.
Lizard's breath, right?
Right, yeah.
You
The helping
fishies?
friend. Hello, Governor.
I was enjoying the conversation.
That's a big fat doobie.
Always fun to learn about, genetics or history, especially musical history.
Hmm.
I'm not a fish head, but I appreciate the lore that
Dude,
comes with.
Edgar named the cultivar, and I think he just heard the story for the first time in full, like about the King
Right?
Wilson, King of Prussia.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
cool.
It's pretty cool, man. I mean, it's definitely it's smart.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
mean when
always
you
when
when you see Wilson on a license plate, most certainly it's a fish head, right?
yeah.
It's not somebody who likes the Tom Hanks movie Castaway, right? So
No. But
I
I
got
do.
Nah.
this little Wilson ball here.
Well,
This
imagine
is
that ball cracks open and it's a jar of Wilson live hash rosin.
there you go.
And
That's
when
what
you
we
open
need.
it, it plays the fish song Wilson. Huh? I'm joking. No, now we're getting into
I'll
the
take
boardroom
pity.
in New York. Now it's becoming obnoxious and disgusting. Got to keep it organic and natural. Just like I'm just growing weed and all this other stuff. It's just happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
It's
Marcus, they announced Fish Tour in the summer. We should talk offline and find out where we're going to meet up.
Yeah, it's been so many years since I've gone to a show. Trey got
Let's
like
go.
in trouble and not allowed to come to Canada, and I wasn't allowed to go to America. So my goodness.
Well, I
Got
don't
to
think there's any Canadian shows, but we
no,
should
no, there
talk.
won't be. There hasn't been in a very long time. Like I said, it's hard to deal with all that stuff, and I can't imagine the cost of a tour going up to a country and getting denied and being like the main guy gets denied. So it's not like you can go and perform still.
Well, they've played Toronto in recent years. I think I'm pretty sure, certain, right? They've
Maybe
done it.
that's the last vestige.
Toronto's almost the United States, right? It's like right across the lake. Is that some of the Wilson hash?
I'm actually smoking some Skittles biscotti that I washed for a facility, indoor facility here in LA. I hand washed it for them, and we did a machine wash to compare, data. It did twice the amount on the wash, but the hand wash tastes like just a little bit better. A little bit of a lot bit better. Like it's just that much better. But I'm smoking the hand washed Skittles biscotti. I might have some Wilson varieties in the fridge, deep in there somewhere for sure. But I'm a sucker for Z. I don't fight it.
Who isn't?
Yeah, I'm a sucker for the Z and the Z derivatives and everything
I
like
was the
bubblegum
same way
shrimp
with
Z.
Renee back in the late 90s when I was making full melt Renee. It was so much tastier than anything else, just so loud, so almost abrasive, and people could smell it from across the room. And it got nicknamed pot to get you busted because it was just so rank. You get pulled over, you're done. You open a jar of it in a hotel room, you're kicked out. Like it was just you didn't have to smoke it. Like it was you could get in trouble with that weed. And now looking back at it, I definitely think it had those thiol long chain sulfur compounds. It was that funk, that deep funk that gets into your clothes that's just different from most other cannabis. And it was unique because when I washed it, the hash still tasted as good, which was like back in the late 90s, dude, finding a cultivar that didn't lose 90% of its taste in the water was like a big deal. It was the shishka berry. That was the first one I found before the Renee. That was the first one I found that didn't wash out. That was like, whoa, it's still right there. It was really disappointing to see how nice the hash could come out, but just be like Play-Doh, like have almost no flavor. And the water, just of course, everyone's like, this water smells amazing. And I'm like, fuck, I know. That's not a good thing.
That shishka berry's still keeping its stride since last conversation we had on here. I've seen it still, I think Mean Gene brought it up on whatever show he was on recently, and it was his first interaction with it. And he was, safe to say he liked it. So, it's a good one. I got
Yeah.
shishka berry seed right here. This is Karma's shishka berry that he made.
Oh
This is
yeah.
my shishka berry.
Okay.
Breeder Steve's gear that we use to make it, of course.
Yeah. 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 Of course, yellow and red, the two lines of shishka berry.
Yeah.
Back in the day, we had two lines, but it was the yellow that I ran first and got like spectacular like hash out of from two bags, which was all these firsts, when you see it for the first time, because people had been making water hash for a bit, but people weren't excited about it. But the first time I made like the stained glass window and dried it properly, and like it just was like see-through, opaque, golden goodness and super flavorful there. It was amazing to have that time in my life to be able to be like, hey, you want to try something? Like I would say it was probably the foundation of the success of my company, Bubble Bags, because I just smoked everyone out with that shit. Everyone, everywhere. Oh yeah.
How's the Wilson is a high yielder?
Yeah, it's a great growing plant. It's a washer. It's got strong parents to say the least. Like the banana OG, I like to say is a nice solid base to build on. And then like the Wilson is like a in a continuing arc. Like I made the F1s, I made the F2s, I hunted a mel, I crossed the mel into anything and everything available. So all the hybrids of it are in essence Wilsons too. So there's like so much of it out there, but the mel that I used to make the hybrids, and I still have the same male. I've been breeding with him for like 8 years. He offers vigor like none other. When I made the selection for the male, I put him up against the wall. I had like 40 plants. I put him up against the wall like with mug shots, and like we're choosing the who did it, and I chose like the strongest male, and that's what I continued my populations forward with. As far as yield is concerned, great growing plant and aromatics and everything else. It's feasible, good and or great depending who uh who vibes with that aroma, which would be like stuff that comes from the mel would be like a tropical grape, uh, like fruity variety. You can't really put your finger on it. Like you smell a jar and you're like, oh, this is cushy, this is grape, this is tropical. And that's something special about it because you can't just say it's anything else besides what it is because it's like nothing else.
Have you
Mm.
had
Um,
the terpene profile measured?
nah, I haven't. I just smoked a bunch of it and grew a bunch of it. I've never had the breakdown of you know that and I'm open-minded about it. Don't get me wrong, but I just haven't had the right people around me, I guess, to swayed me into having that happen. What is it like chromatography or a gas test or
Yeah,
something like that?
a testing lab will charge probably like about 100, maybe $120 for what you would call a terpene profile, and that would be by gas chromatography. Yeah, they
Okay.
would do a direct injection into the machine, and then you'd get basically all the different peaks for all the different terpenes, and if there's some unique kind of like the white thorn rose,
The
what was that?
Celine, the
Celine
Celine
Diane,
Dion.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Celine Dion,
Selena
uh,
dying.
Selena
yeah,
Diane, yeah, yeah.
Celine
Hey,
Dion.
I'm a stickler for chemistry nomenclature. So yeah, it's always like so the grape ones, the guys at Abstracts found out that there's this thing called methyl anthranilate, which is an anthranilic acid derivative that's gives that real kind of grape soda, kind of almost artificial grape kind of flavor. You know what I mean? Like, like it doesn't really like if you taste a Concord grape and you taste grape Kool Aid, they taste different. They don't
Of
taste the
course.
same, right? But that
Part of
synthetic,
it.
yeah, that synthetic kind of I'm a sucker for grape orange crush. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Uh, if I see a bottle of that, like when I go to pick up my sandwich, I'll get a bottle of grape orange crush. Um, yeah, so that's methyl anthranilate, and you said something like about like a more tropical kind of like is it like a pineapple-y, fruity kind
like
of
like
smell
I would
or
say like a smell that like Baja Blasts give off, like those
oh
type of
yeah yeah right
tropical,
right
like I can't it's the only thing I could describe it as tropical and fruity, because
yeah
it's I wouldn't say pineapple. I have stuff that's like pineapple, but I wouldn't say pineapple. I would
yeah
say like grape is the first thing I could think of, but like you said, if you go smell a grape, it smells like nothing. It's like,
yeah right
it's all water, but
doesn't smell like
artificially,
grape
yeah,
Skittles, right?
yeah. So
Grape
that's
Skittles
how.
or grape sour melon kind of shit. But yeah, if you're smelling those kinds of fruits, you're seeing things that are called esters, and esters aren't necessarily terpenes, but they're very fragrant molecules. And so isoamyl acetate is the kind of like banana smell, and isoamyl butyrate I think starts smelling a little bit more like pineapple. But citrusy is completely different. There's all kinds of, limonene has got a real citrus flavor. And, limonene's pretty prevalent in a lot of cannabis strains. Limonene's pretty ubiquitous. I think most cannabis has got limonene, or most terpene profiles from cannabis have limonene. But there's also what we were talking about last week or week before with Dragonfly Earth Medicine, which is they have a high Valencine variety. And Valencine, oh my God, when you open it up, I mean, limonene certainly smells like oranges and orange peels or orange zest, kind of like almost that. It's so orangey, it's kind of like bitter. Valencine smells like orange juice. It just smells like rich. It's got such a nice aroma. And yeah, that's a sesquiterpene. And you may find that, in your Wilson varieties that there's some unique terpenes in there, or there's some unique terpenoid, type molecules or esters that give it that real flavor that you know it for.
No doubt. I might even like you would have to send in a flower sample. Like, what's the amount of flower you would
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
send
You
in?
want to send in a real flesh top cola right when it's harvested. Do you fresh freeze your material?
No
Do you do
doubt.
any fresh frozen material?
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
I
so
would
you
I
want
would
to get that terpene profile right at harvest, because even after you dry it a little bit, your terpene profile, not only are terpenes fugitive and they'll evaporate, but you'll start really changing the overall makeup of your terpene profile on cure.
I've noticed like if I grow during the winter or just like certain times of the season and I'll have a melt out there,
Hmm.
it'll like go towards the end of its life cycle, and as opposed to like a grow during the middle of the summer where there's just mells everywhere and sometimes you might let some finish. During the winter, specifically this winter that just passed, all the mells they start to really throw out their bracts and show like, what their aroma is going to be like, as opposed to the stem rub. You actually got bracts with heads on them. I
Hmm.
was wondering if you could send in a bract of, like a nice amount of heads from Mel and get that tested just to
Yeah,
help.
you could send in whatever you want to send in. I mean, the lab test will be on whatever plant material you provide.
Yeah,
So find a
that'd be
lab that you're
awesome.
comfortable with. And, our friends at SC Lab, Alec, who's been on Hash Church a bunch of times, can speak more to about, what they've done. If there's, something known about the genetic varieties from which it was derived, they could sometimes look at the terpene profiles and get, a guide or a kind of like what to look for in the
No
offspring.
doubt. I've had like I've joined like a charity auction before, and one of the sales pitch to sell the seeds was like, oh, it's got all the terpenes uncharted. It's got, we did the data on it, and it's got stuff we've never seen before, unheard of, terpene, terpene, terpene. Look at all this uncharted stuff. And I fell for it. Not that I fell for it, but I was supporting the charity too. I ended up paying like $2,000 for the seeds. It was from Mean
Yeah.
Gene. It was called Pluto's Cock. That's what they called it. And this was the sales pitch, terpenes, so many terpenes, uncharted.
Well,
And
and
I'm just like,
and not
and
not
I
to
grew
draw
it.
not to
Let
draw
him finish, Dr. Mark. Let him
Oh, I'm
finish.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I grew it. I grew it, and it reminded me of like Jack and Trainwreck and Super Lemon Haze and that type of stuff. It like that just drives me crazy almost, because it's like, this whole pitch on all these, big words, esters and all this. Not you, but them when they did it to me, and it's just Jack. Like where's the joke here?
That's
And I paid
terpenoline.
$2,000. Kill me now, bro. You know?
Well, Marcus, I was just going to bring up the point, and again, I don't want to make the commercial importance to it of doing cannabinoid potency, measurements. I mean, potency will always correlate with trichome density, right? Like the more trichomes on the plant material you're testing, the higher the THC content. Period. I mean, but it also tracks with terpene production as well, right? Because the more trichomes you have, the more terpenes you have too. And so, yeah, certainly like different growers have different techniques. Certainly, what you send in to test is always going to make a difference. But yeah, being able to maintain high cannabinoid and high terpene profiles, I think, are what makes things commercially relevant today in this
Um,
marketplace.
I just wish there was some sort of test that was not so expensive, but that was set up for growers because, like even Ryan was talking about in the breeding, like there's a variety of ways that you can get to novelty. You can get lucky. And once you do, you don't want to lose that. You don't want to lose this particular rare, you know, volatile organic compound that just makes, I mean, back in the day, we had it here in Vancouver, it was God Bud. God Bud was so unique from everything else that even people that didn't really know much about cannabis would smell that one and go, oh, that's God Bud. It was just that recognizable. And I suspect we're missing a lot of the, novel flavor profiles that have just been lost over the years because people don't have the ability to properly perceive them, which I would think first would be by smoking it like the way Johnny did and was like, no, there's something different going on here. He sent it to SC Labs. They ran it through their regular platform, but they weren't testing for the selenidiene, so they missed it. But he was like, no, there's something here. So that kind of got it pushed to the next level, which is when they found it. So it would be good if there was a way to find these missing, if you think you have something novel, it's really unique and you've let a few people taste it,
Mm-hmm.
send a little sample out here. We'll do the sequence or whatever, the test, and figure out if there's something that really shouldn't be lost in there. Which at that point, if it's not as dominant, maybe it's there, but it's not really there. Even just to have access to that gene synthase and then use that to breed that into a stronger, more stable cultivar is that's winning
Well,
in my opinion.
a diamond in the rough is when there's something completely new, like the Celine Diane, but more likely, Marcus,
Yeah.
it's just a combination of the terpenes we already know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when
Possibly,
you
yeah.
combine certain terpenes and certain esters, like certain esters kind of like modulate others, and I remember one of my last texts with Sam. He was we were talking about because he had gotten pure terpenes that he was dabbing with I guess pure THCA, right? Like he was like trying to suss out terpene, and then so when it got to combining terpenes, that's where he really was fascinated with like, okay, so if I put beta caryophyllene with limonene, like how much beta like there, right? I mean, there's like so much that you could explore just in the ratio of two terpenes. Now you throw three terpenes, and it really does become that combinatorial thing where there could be so many different combinations, and each compound kind of acts in its own way to attenuate
How about
and
this?
modulate
It's
the
it's
other
even it's
compounds.
even crazier and worse in a sense because at least with science we can somewhat monitor what's there. But the minute you smoke it, and now there's esterification of terpenes, like
Right.
complete molecule changeovers happening,
Changes, right.
heat, all of this, you know. And I know there are machines that measure the vapors and the temperatures and all that, but
Right.
that's really where the bioassay
Or
comes
even
in,
the
where
loss of the water solubles, Mark, right? Like when you do water extraction, right, and you're losing water soluble, what does that do to the flavor profile, right?
mm,
It's got to do
it
something,
drives
right?
it drives me towards cultivars that don't lose their tastes and flavors. So the water hash world has become so, most of us at most of the time are running cultivars that taste great all the way through. It's just more standard knowledge than it once was.
Yeah,
But
I
I'll
think
tell
that's
you
true.
hey, how's it going, Colin?
Hey, dude, what's up?
Welcome,
Love,
Hey,
welcome.
Cole.
love the conversation. I was just gonna kind of reiterate like what you're saying. I think there was a time when we were just like just like, oh, that's just the way it is. But now I think because we're also how do I say this nicely? We're also hard-headed that we have decided that we're just gonna focus on the right things in the right constituents, such as the right cultivars from the jump, rather than wait and then say, I'm gonna keep doing this thing. Because that's how it was in the early days. Like we kept on growing the same varietals and washing them, thinking it would change. Like I was guilty of it, others were, and then all of a sudden we all started talking to one another, And we all started sharing that, hey, this ride will work better than this one. And it's the staircase kind of evolved, right? And we all started climbing it together. But without that common conversation over what works and what doesn't, we still be really far behind. And I think that's something that, in the hydrocarbon world, I hear a lot of people say, well, everything works. Well, I'd argue it's the same way. How does everything work with the process? Not everything can work with process, right? There's selective inputs, and that's why they're selective. And as a result, those are the tools that you carry on forth with that medium. In this case, it's extraction, you know? So I think it's fascinating that there's all these ideologies going around about what works and what doesn't, but I would argue every medium in anything has that. Whether it's art, science, um,
Yeah.
you
There's
know?
always outliers.
Yeah,
It's,
100%.
you don't always have to follow just this one pathway to get to your success. There's a variety of ways. Personally, I think authenticity is the best way there every time.
100.
It's the way you enjoy the ride, which really is the journey. Your destination is like, okay, we're here, now what? But the whole journey, the ride, that's why you want to be authentic. It's in that you find your magic. I mean, listen, when I started Bubble Bags, I wasn't trying to like turn everyone on to water extraction. I wasn't like, I'm going to call it bubble so everyone calls it bubble. I wasn't trying to like create a name. I wasn't like, what you think Bubble Man was the name I chose, thinking it was going to become super well known. I wasn't thinking of any of that. I was just like, just want to work and hustle hard and build this company. And
Come
I love
on, you
hash.
can't tell me you weren't a little bubble going, I want to be a big bubble one day.
No, I really wasn't. I just wanted to pay my bills, dude. I was like, I just got busted. I wasn't able to like sell herb anymore. I was like, this is fucking not good. I got to figure
All right,
something
well then
out.
if you weren't Bubble Man, what would it be? What I mean, did you ever think of in an alternative universe what it would have been?
Probably Lord Trichome. No, just
One thing about Marcus though, guys, like, because I met Marcus when I was pretty young, and I picked up really early on that he wasn't trying to sell the bags as much as he was trying to sell the concept of making hash. And as a result, it so happens to be that he has this awesome set of bags. And I really appreciated that about you at the time, honestly, man, because there were so many people doing the opposite, man. And there really wasn't that many of us trying to get into this medium, if you want. I don't even know what the right word is. And I just always felt like you were super unabashedly authentic just because of what you believed in. And that was like where I felt connected to you as a friend, even though we didn't really at the time know each other. And I just felt like, oh, I got to get to know this dude. Like he seems like he cares about the right things. And yeah, I just really appreciated that about you. And I don't think I've ever shared that with you. And I think it's just appropriate because, there's a lot of people making products out there, but there's not a lot of people pushing process and just being literally real, and that's the appreciate, you got to give you your flowers where they're deserved. So that's
well,
my
I
little way
appreciate it,
of
dude.
saying
I
it,
got I
man.
got lucky. My timing was lucky, and I just did the right things with it. So I feel blessed to have been able to
You
play that
created
part.
your own luck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, my dad did
yeah,
say years ago, you have to be good to be lucky.
yeah,
He's
You
like,
got to be lucky to be good too.
yeah, that's
yeah.
true. Fuck, in this crazy world, it sure is not that's not a lie.
Yeah.
Oh my
but
goodness.
but
I did a hash church investment the other day. Check this out. I haven't bought a new laptop in 8 years, and I got a new hash church laptop
hell yeah.
for hash church in Quebec, Colorado, New Mexico. I got a bunch of trips here in the near future. I'm probably going to end up having to do some hash church outside of here. And I cannot tell you how stressful the last few that I did on my 8-year-old laptop, because it has no battery. Like if the plug comes out even a millimeter, the whole thing just dies. I was like, fuck, I'd almost rather do this off my phone. But yeah, so, oh, look at that bad boy. You got it
Yeah,
on blur.
I broke the other day and I got it repaired.
You got it repaired already?
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
you post about
Dude,
that.
so
Who
check this out.
who did it?
Alex from Hashtag has a very similar mothership. And I go over to his house and I pick it up like from the top, and literally, no, you know what? He had brought it to Spain. We were in Barcelona staying together, and I went to pick it up and literally pulled the whole top piece right out. And I was like, oh my God. He's like, no, no, no. He's like, don't, no, stop, don't worry. It was broken. I'm like, oh my God, why would you do that, dude? That's like the most cruelest thing you could ever do to someone. Like, that is unbelievable. He's like, oh, fuck, I forgot. I didn't realize you'd pick it up like that. I'm like, of course I'm going to pick it up like that. What do you think? I'm going to pick it up from the bottom of the pipe? Like, I'm going to pick it up from the top, dude. Oh my God.
It's a true
You're
Tommy
not one
boy
of those
thing, right?
guys who balances those motherships on top of each other, are
Dude, no, I like to flip
you?
mine.
Society.
I like to flip dabs. I didn't understand that
Yeah.
either, but to each their own. I got a giggle out of it.
Yeah. I normally don't travel with the really nice piece, but the guy that I went to go hang out with was like, I like to smoke hash. Bring hash. And I'm like, I got you. I'm bringing my best piece. I'm bring a gang of hash. We're gonna have a ball. And I go pull up on Green Dragon where the toad venom came out of. So I went to go
Oh
get the
yeah.
toad venom to say the least. And I put the bong on the table and I just like blink and it falls over just three pieces. And I'm just like, and then I try not to, make a fool of myself and I just take a deep breath. I'm like, all right, let's just do what we can to do. Let's hang out. We'll break out something else and I'll figure this out later. And I found a local. I drove like an hour and change out the way, charged me like $300. Came back a week later, it was fixed, I did do some shopping around. Some people wanted thousands of dollars with a 4 week turnaround. And I was like, oh, thank God I supported a local because it was like, and I made a new friend too.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, it's dope.
That's
cool.
what's up.
Nice repair, though. Great job.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Oh my God, dude. Those pipes breaking are just too much, dude. Oh, I seen a guy break Flav's pipe in Amsterdam, like a dosa that was like $25,000 or something. And it was like the Bistable. He pulled out the down stem and then did this weird shake thing and like popped a piece of the Bistable out, and both Flav didn't
Oh,
even
yeah.
react. He just literally like grabbed it and just walked away. And the guy was like, was he upset? And I'm like, I
Oh,
don't know. Would you be like,
oh,
are you?
I had my cat knocked over my contrabasso and smashed it.
Oh, dude, cats have killed many a
But wait,
muffler.
wait. It was fixable. I got it to contrabasso. He fixed it, and it's you can't tell. I mean, if I ever sold, I would be
Oh,
honest and state that. But rest in peace, contrabasso, because he was like, "Fuck, dude, why'd you do that?" I was like, "It was a cat. I can't. There's nothing I can do. Cat, gravity. Gravity hates us all equally. Nothing I could
dude.
do." And he was like, all right, send it to me." And it took a little bit. Master's got to do a master, but he fixed it. It's flawless, runs to this day. Rest in peace, contrabasso. So it happens to, if you get into glass, gravity's going to happen. So, got to be prepared because that's why it hurts. Those things cost thousands of dollars, so
Oh,
I think
to
Flav's
lose
collection's one of the
thousands of
best.
dollars out of nothing is kind of rough, because there was a time Mothership would repair because I had a clear that I had repaired from my ex-girlfriend after we broke up. She's like, I broke it. I was like, hold on, let me see. Sent it to Mothership, they fixed it, and then shortly after they're like, yeah, we're not doing repairs anymore. So,
no.
you gotta, so if you break something that's high end, you gotta find another glass artist pretty much to, repair it if you want to save it.
Yeah, it's
But it's
insane.
functional art.
It is. It is
Mothership
functional
reached
art.
out.
They did.
Mothership reached out. Yeah, they reached out, but I had already solidified the thing with homie down the way. So shout out them too. Good people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yours is an epic piece. Mine was just clear, so I can see that.
Dude, I
I mean,
watched this kid Nathan who lived in BC for a while. It was, I think, this one right here. These are three motherships. And this one, the Exosphere, it was like covered in white opals. He paid 100 grand Canadian for it. And his cat smashed it off the ledge. And he also didn't react at all, except was like, I gotta take my cat to the vet because it like got a little slice on its foot. So he was just like off to the vet with his cat and 100K down the tubes. That kid burnt me for a Sasquatch rosin press. So if you're watching, Nathan, fuck you, dude. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
Nate, you don't rip off our fucking vows and buddies like that. Fuck
Dude.
you. You got to straight up in business. You got to be honest if you're going to play on this side of the field, fucker.
Or
You know better.
try.
You knew better.
It'll come around,
Apologize,
Nathan.
fix it, and pay that man back.
Or try harder. Yeah, right. That was like years ago. That was
Yeah, it's
years ago.
tough. I mean, Flav's
That's just
collect.
interest gaining.
Yeah, that's true. Flav's collection's amazing. I mean, I don't know if it's still intact, but I remember he was selling a few pieces, but
He's got an incredible collection.
yeah, it's probably one of the best I've actually ever seen.
It's silly.
Yeah.
But it's like Bitcoin, like dropped down to like, 20 grand. Like he's got to get that coin back up.
True. But Flav, if you're listening, big props, man.
Yeah, it's one of the sickest glass collections I've ever seen or been exposed to. And it was just for a while there, it was insane, dude. Every week he's like, yeah, I got this pipe coming. He'd like show me all these pictures. I'm like, didn't you just buy a crazy pipe? He's like, yeah, but this is the new one that I've got coming. And he was doing it like often. It was impressive. I'd go to his house and he'd pull out like 40 pipes and every one of them would be like 25K.
Yeah, and he makes really good hash too, man. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah. Grows good weed, makes good hash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, student of the
fantastic
game.
flower. Yeah.
And he has a really amazing brother, Joel,
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and he's
And
also
apparently
Go
a great eye for art too.
Yes. I mean, let's just say like
and a nice family.
he's an incredible guy. Let's just throw it out there.
Shouting out Flat 421.
Shouting it out, Flav.
He was one of the early freeze dryer people in BC as well, and all that. He's also bought tons of genetics as well,
Oh, tons.
and has an amazing,
He got,
seed
in
collection.
fact, when he stopped buying glass, he started buying genetics, and he has
Yeah.
an absolutely insane genetics
His
collection.
his
for
Hayes
sure.
collection is
He bought a bunch of our stuff, right?
Dude, I want to see the haze because every time someone was like the other day was like, oh, Flav loves the narrow leaf cultivars. I'm like, he does?
yeah.
He's like, yeah, he's always smoking hazes. I'm like, dude, I've known Flav for 20 years. I've never seen him with haze in my life.
That's
Like
insane.
having it in his hand.
Right, when we were gonna do that breeding project in Canada, like that's all it was gonna be was the hazes he has.
and the Congo, probably.
Yeah.
Congo,
Well,
Congo,
the
I will
Congo,
give
but
him
I think
that. I've
Congo
seen
came from
Congo from him,
markets.
but not a lot of hazes that
Yeah.
I've seen. I'd like to. I'm
Well,
down.
you live closer to him than all of us, so it sounds like the trip is in order.
Listen, I never
you
see
too.
Flav. He goes by a ferry that's 10 minutes from my house, and I never see him. Here's
We're
Yeah.
gonna have to
here's
get
some
him to come
here's
on.
some haze.
Look at that. That's so gnarly. Love it. Look how rowdy that is.
It's
It is-
freaky.
Oh my god.
It's like someone pulling up on a three-wheeler, pulling a wheelie.
Ah.
That's kind of more than that's a chopped up like lowrider tricycle three-wheeler type thing, like a
Jesus
Yeah.
Killer.
Christ. It's
That's
insane.
good though, man. Sign me up. Let's
Here,
go.
I'll show you one of the buds.
Yes, look at that. Let's get that to focus. Hold your hand up. Yeah, there you go. Oh, yeah. Where did this come from? Who's this?
Dude, this dude is like a random dude on fucking the internet, like that was just like, bro.
That's
First,
the
it
best.
started with me deciding after
Rando.
I smoked a joint that I wanted to smoke some haze. And
Mhm.
then I reached out to Tom Hill because Caleb, welcome Caleb, who just popped in as well as Josh. Caleb had a couple of Tom Hill's hazes in Nevada when we met in person in Vegas there.
Okay.
And I didn't smoke it, but the one that he had, the triple X, I think Tom calls it the Calypso haze, was really quite special. So I kind of reached out to Tom. I said, I want to get some haze. And he said, oh, I got a guy that's up in your country. That's he doesn't have these exact three cuts, but he's done selections from these same seeds and he's got something special. So he sent me a little bud with some rosin and a clone. So I've got it growing right now. And then he sent me this secondary bag of like, a pretty decent sized bud. And then he also was like, oh, I also wanted to send you this one. And so he sent me this one, and this one is the Band-Aid haze.
Oh, nice. That's a great one. That's one of my that one puts me
That's a
down.
great haze
It
Band-Aid.
really
Yeah,
knocks me
yeah,
out, that one, yeah. Uh
That one
that's
has
really
more of the incensey peppery qualities as opposed to
Correct.
the Jackie super lemon haze shit.
yeah,
Totally.
yeah.
Fucking right. So, and then if that's not good
I
enough,
love how forum days that is, like him
dude,
just sending you the clone with the
well,
flower.
Canada, bro, it's all fully legal. You can just
It's
do that.
great.
You can just send clones, you can just send seeds, hash, weed,
When
fuck
I was
whatever you want,
younger, man, like
as long
every
as you don't go
clone
over.
came with like a gram or a couple grams and a little
So
note,
here,
like try
one
to.
more. One more. If it
Oh
wasn't,
yeah,
this is just me deciding I'm gonna smoke. So this is the Conroy.
nice.
And the Conroy is the sweet skunk crossed with the Congolese.
Ooh, that must
Oh,
taste
fuck,
interesting.
dude.
Funny, I can kind of. It's interesting. I can see the Congo
I
in it.
hate to say it, but I could see the Congo. I hate to be the guy. I hate to be the
It
guy
was
to
very
select him as
I
the
saw
Congo.
the
first one.
Congo in it. Yeah,
Even Ryan admitted this one was more
Brax.
Congo leaning. He's looking for a more sweet skunk leaning one. That being said,
It
dude,
has a little sweet skunk look to it, the way that the flower is,
it
but the
it did.
Brax scream Congo.
The
Dude, I
Brax
tell you,
Scream Congo, Colin. I'm telling you, bro,
I
all
won't kick it
day.
out of bed for eating crackers. I'll tell you that
100.
much.
They're like super
I'd bring
compact
it
little
crackers in bed.
bracks,
What do you?
like rugged, compact little bracks with not that much coverage on the heads. On my experience, I grew the Congolese from a mean gene population that he
Hmm.
repopulated. And then I grew Bodhi's Divine Intervention. I still have both of them, by the way. They're really good. I'm not a haze guy. I'm not a terpinolene guy, but I'm not. But I know what they are. I know how grand of a expression they are, and the hybrids that they could entail. So I do breed with them. But boy, do I not. I'm not at your favorite hash maker's table. Like, where's the haze jar? I'm a sucker for Z, but I love to grow haze. I love to grow land races, and I
So
like to. But when it comes to like my money, oh man, I gotta go to the hip hop beat. I'm so sorry.
this is
Just give
a
me the
Congo.
fantastic.
Yeah,
She's got more coverage than the
I'd
ones I
never
have.
seen it look like this in my entire life. My buddy
Yeah, I was gonna
RJ
say it looks
literally
totally
almost
different.
spit his milk out when he saw it. He was literally like, "Oh!" It was the densest Congo. I might also have an ounce of that coming, so I'm pretty excited if that comes through.
Is
So
that done
Congo,
inside, maybe?
it's definitely done inside. And shout out to the kid who grew it. Him and his partner are exceptional growers. They tested all their herb with the Valenvera's machine, and it was just all super fine herb,
It's
high
it's known
percentages.
for not being dense, though, isn't it?
Yeah, if you grow
Yeah,
it a certain way, I guess this guy grew it a
yeah.
different way, and it was just like, what the hell? It was insane, dude. And it actually
All that
smoked
silica.
really nice.
So
Like it was.
what's the difference there? I mean, and is that difference in general, or just difference for this strain, or
Well, I
obviously?
would guess that there's a whole variety. I mean, first of all, I will say this: this guy who grew it is an exceptional grower, and you could even ask a guy like Remo. Remo loves to smoke this guy's herb. Like he's an exceptional grower, and he hammers most of what he grows out of the park. And I think this was like his first or second time growing Congo, and he was just like, "Oh, I'll give it a shot." He doesn't grow narrow leaf drug cultivars. He's more into you know whatever the community is requesting.
It
We
looks
had a
like
lot of fun with the Nirka Seed Trust, which is Bodhi seeds, and he has a lot of the landrace seeds that he's gotten over the years in a
Oh yeah.
thing called like Nirka Seed Trust. And
Okay.
I may be saying like that word wrong, but
You also may be saying it right.
I know what you're talking about, Dragonfly. I think because I've heard him on his podcast stuff
okay,
before, and
it's
and
pretty.
and, and I forget how you pronunciate it, but that might be it. I'm not too sure. Yeah.
Really interesting stuff in there, and even some Acapulco Gold, and we had an experience with the Acapulco Gold where we normally don't do more than one light dep in a summer, but we did two this year, and this one particular year a bunch of years ago, and had an Acapulco Gold in there that went all the way through the whole first cycle, and all the way through the whole second cycle, and like grew flower, and then the flower started growing like on itself, and it was like just super spectacular. And I was like really interested in the flavor. I mean, the flavor was so I just you recognize what where it's gone into, which is just kind of that lemony or origination thing, it's not just lemon, but kind of also terpenoline a bit too, but also we also had a chance to grow some of the Columbia Gold and some Pakistani varietals as well. But yeah, super fun growing those plants, but also you feel like, yeah, how much of my garden can I dedicate to it? You kind of because like what Masonic's saying, like it's really something maybe you like to keep it throughout the year and as a unique jar and a fun flavor to go through with your friends and family. And I think that's where it really shines and it does keep well throughout the year, which I think is another good quality where some of the newer hash varietals don't necessarily keep throughout the year in those ways like that does. And so that's fun to grow up for those reasons as well. But yeah, lots of good times in there, and it is worth checking it out and getting used to seeing a flower like that. Like you think you're doing something wrong when it's just spindling off on the top, like that. But
And
it's the way.
even with like as much as I might like, I don't like haze, right? Why am I popping Destroyer? Why am I popping Pineapple Tie? Why am I popping Mountaintop Destroyer? Because like it's got mind control on me. This plant wants me to still do, and it's good. Like I said, it's good. But I just think that because of how long it takes to flower and the real estate that it takes up, that a lot of our favorite growers, like my favorite growers that might make a consumable that ends up on my table, they don't necessarily roll the dice on it. So that offering is never there as well. It's hard
You nailed
to
it. It's
like it because it's not.
exactly one of the main reasons why it's not. But then you had Dominique come on Hash Church a couple of weeks ago for the Haze episode and talk about putting a 200-watt bulb over top of a giant plant and pulling 4 kilos over the course of a year out of that little space with that 200-watt light bulb, growing it up the lattice, leaving the light bulb off the top of the plant and just hitting the side of the plant. And for whatever reason, it just still produced this amazing resin all the way from top to bottom. That shit blew my mind. If we could grow hazes differently indoors, we could make them a little bit more available. And I think really what they would do well with is to open the door to you can enjoy cannabis with a lower THC. And if that door just got opened a little bit, who knows what other things would come in behind it that are nothing like hazes.
Well, if there's enough to flood the market, then the market would finally understand it. Unfortunately, the market has been subjugated to these 6 to 8 week varietals that fit you know, the metric for, your large scale farming and all the mids, whereas all of us on this call are addicted to high grade cannabis, low batch, high quality, right? Which, is something that we search for. We're kind of like that wine snob, right? That collects weird shit in a basement that you build just for your wine because you care and you think about it that much, right? Everybody's stuff's in a refrigerator right now, right? If they're not smoking it, right? Because we've learned when, from when we were kids to throwing shit in a closet to realize, oh, that doesn't work right, right? And trying to figure out, oh, well, these humidity packs work well. Oh, can't use humidity packs. It sucks my terpenes out. Can't use fruit rinds to keep the moisture of, can't throw lettuce in, you know what I'm saying? There's just
What about
all
a
these
corn tortilla? Can you use a
right,
corn
corn tortilla, right? Oh, dude, right? So, it's just that these things we've all learned over time, right? There's no book on 101 how to sell weed and maintain your weed, right? These are, now there
Dude, I'm
are
doing an AI version today.
yeah, you go. Oh yeah, I can't wait to see the art from it.
Oh, it's going to look really great.
Ah, that's when your third eye is going to come out is in that art.
That's it.
Well,
You know
we're
what?
also go ahead if you
No, no, you go ahead. I'm
yeah.
I'm trying to set up Nightbot for I want to give away a spoon from the press club in about a half an hour.
Cool.
Yeah, little
Well,
wash
I wanted
spoon.
to say we're in Prague right now, which is really amazing. And we're here with Marco, our really good friend from Germany. And he's right here. And he's from Vibes
Well, we just showed
Garden.
up out of nowhere, dude. That was so trippy.
Dude, it's a portal here, and this city's a
He's just like,
portal.
hey, what's up?
Yeah. Prague's like a living museum. Like literally you walk around there, you just walk out your door and then you start smoking a joint. And you just don't know where the hell you're gonna end up. And dude, some of these cathedrals are like the resonation. You can do like an ohm in there, and the whole entire building comes alive. Like it's absolutely sacred G all the way, just like freaky beautiful. But I would love to introduce you to Marco, and he's become a really special friend to us and a really amazing creator out here in Europe. And we're going to be doing a lot of co-creating together.
Yeah, hopefully a lot of more than we did already.
Exactly. We've
Yeah.
done a lot. We met in Barcelona. We've been cruising around all around here. We did Mary Jane together last year,
Yeah,
and we're
very
getting
great.
stoked about Mary Jane this year.
Yeah, I hope so. Guys, is anyone participating from your
Well,
interview
Marcus,
partners?
Marcus, BC Bubble Man here is part of our sponsor group, and we were trying to get him out here, and definitely he'll be a part of our zone. And like we had Mossy Giant on here a few weeks ago, also as well.
Yeah,
So he,
Mossy was
right?
on.
Yep.
Love the big
And
Moss.
everyone on this panel, you Masonic, everyone are all invited to be a part of our group because we are creating something really special at Mary Jane. And it's gonna be, why don't you describe what the garden is?
And I feel like we can tell that Mossy is already doing the graphic for the Vibes Garden. So it's already finished, but
It's sweet.
I don't want to show it right now up. So you will see it, guys. Yeah, hopefully a lot of you coming up. I mean, for me, I really appreciate also to meet you and Kelly here over in Prague. It's amazing to have this impact and this knowledge of you guys over here. So my dream back in the days was
Yeah.
if I want to get knowledge about cannabis, I have to go over the sea. And times changed, so I'm very thankful that we can profit from your expertise without going in the US, which is very difficult at this times, or Canada. So thankful for this to also show up in Germany, which is in kind of matter a very small country, but also Czech Republic and the European countries maybe show a different way and another way how to legalize and how to make it to an operative business which works.
Yeah.
And Mary Jane is one of the best examples. So Duke, also a very well friend of mine, and now we're celebrating the 10th year of Mary Jane Berlin, and we never was it was never a shame for us or for Duke for Mary Jane by itself to show the hemp leaf by itself. It was different 10 years ago in Germany, very different. Now we have a very big medical market. But we're also still fighting for a regulated recreational market because not everybody is a patient who wants to smoke weed and who likes to smoke weed. And so
And like a
we
person like me can't come to Germany and buy weed. Right. So
um,
it's and like in shops and
no, but I could do it for you easily, and you
which I
could get
like
it
that.
within a few
I like
hours
that.
via Uber. So, but I would not recommend it to you.
No, because it's bad weed. That's the thing. We need to get more organic
But
living soil, like we were talking about, killer feeling, like actual vibes weed, like vibration, high vibration. And it's odd, like you'd think no one cares, no one cares it's organic. Everyone says that. But then you give them some like killer weed and like really good, like made hash, and people are like, I feel that.
And in fact, in the medical market, you have different kind of regulatories and also a different market. So the market is like you have to bring out new strains every month in the best way. So which is not possible if you want to stabilize and really bring out a very good, profile in
Yeah.
my kind of view. But yeah, this is why we really need to have a recreational market in Germany because the medical market is so much different. So I hope the recreational market is a little bit more open for people like you to bring in experience and not that highly operative medical GMP business because it's not easy.
Yeah.
And already there are ways around. So the cannabis. I can buy cannabis for under €3 in the German pharmacy right now. We can order it right now. I can pay it per Klarna, per PayPal, so I have to
€3 per
pay it in
gram.
30 days.
So here's a question. You guys are federally legal in Germany. We should probably be able to buy off your pharmacies as Canadians visiting with medical licenses, as you can here in Canada.
The online pharmacies don't care about that, so I feel like it can work, huh?
It
Yes.
should. Federal regulations usually work like that unless they have something very specific in there. But I can tell you that people come here from other countries and get licenses to both grow and consume cannabis legally, just outside of our recreational. Because obviously we have, once everything goes rec in your country, it's less of this sort of dance that everyone does. Once you get that rec legal, that's when it changes everything. People aren't
That's
so
really cool.
yeah, they're not they're free to do what they wanted to do since the beginning, which is, be involved in a cannabis business, get cannabis available to people out in the world, wherever their market is.
Is home grow like a big thing in Germany or not? Or like what's the
It's yeah, of course, because it's legal right now, and this is the only way for people. They don't want to go into a pharmacy to order the cannabis, or they want to go to a doctor.
So how many
They
plants?
you can have up to 3 plants flowering.
Okay. And then how much grams can you have in your possession afterwards?
You are only allowed to have maximum of 50 grams.
Okay, so that's weird. Like it's recreational, it's federally legal, but you can only have 50 grams.
Yeah. So you can walk around with 25
50
grams,
grams of flour?
Total at your house. Total at your house.
Oh, at your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
From
Well, I
your
mean,
three
still.
from your 3 plants.
I wonder how many people. Yeah, geez. Better be careful.
Right.
yeah,
won't stand up.
because the law is you are in real struggles because you are quite above the lower law. So
Is
you
it
have
50 dried grams or 50
Yeah.
grams?
And does that include hash? Could you have 50 grams
You
of
can
hash?
also have 50 grams of hash,
All right. So that'll
Now
work
we're
out for the
talking.
hash
Now
guys.
we're talking.
and it's yeah.
Czech Republic is
it's also
100
a
grams.
process, I would
Czech
say.
Republic's 100 grams. I'm pretty sure it's 3 plants in
I'm
100.
allowed to have 10
Oh,
pounds at my house with my Canadian
Yeah, we're
license.
allowed to we could
10
travel with
pounds.
14 pounds of weed in Canada between me and Kelly with
No,
our
not anymore. All the
Oh,
medical
really?
licenses, 150
That's
grams a
true.
piece. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no,
150
I mean,
grams a
that
piece.
that used to be the case. We had 120 grams a day license.
Very few
Yeah.
people consuming that much cannabis in a day.
Yeah.
I wonder what you were doing with all that
Oh,
cannabis.
we don't smoke it. That's the thing. We only make tea out of it.
Ah,
It
there it
takes a
is.
lot more to get it out of.
It's
So
like we don't smoke
it's a
all of our
health thing.
cannabis.
So, yeah.
Everyone
Yeah.
else does.
Yeah, I mean,
But
you
also,
can do it also in Germany, but I don't know how to harvest 50 grams from one plant in different states. But
So
we
if
have in
you-
Germany also different states with different laws. If you're in Bavaria, South Germany had stricter laws than North Germany. I always say Berlin is really, really not Germany
It's
because
not.
the police cannot come against the law. But this is also a very important thing when we talk about Germany. I know it's small for you overseas guys, but we still have different states, and they are so different. Yeah. In Bavaria, they really don't want to have you smokers anywhere.
so that's like
They forbid
Munich,
it.
right?
Yeah. Munich, they try to forbid it everywhere, but they got they lose the law case.
How
I
about
think it's
beverages? Beverages like what we're seeing here in the States. Do you guys have beverages over there?
No, it's not legal. In the pharmaceutical market, there are no beverages, and the recreational market is not existing. So, of course, there are home growers, but they just started to grow. So, really, the knowledge about making gummies or something for yourself, this is growing up. Yeah. And this is where people are really interested also. But it's not available in a legal market at all.
Now's a really good opportunity for breeders, and that's why I talk to like Masonic here or Colin or someone who feels like they would like to make an opportunity in Europe. Now's a really good time to do that, and discuss, those different opportunities. And there's a lot of them.
I mean, we have the laws that you can show legally what you are doing and bringing the know-how. For me, with Vibes, we are working in the marketing and branding section. It helps a lot for overseas brands coming from Cali or other states to set the brand right now, yeah, before the recreational market will come. Of course, there will be a transformation from medical brands turning into recreational. But I also work with other brands. They just try to pop up right now, maybe only through knowledge, to education, through other things to show the brand, to have a really good chance to step into the recreational market. I feel like edibles are very easy in this way. Maybe flowers are not that easy. Maybe this comes more from the medical market switching into the recreational, but we will see. I don't know that.
Every
Now,
country does it the same way. It's unbelievable because it always hurts the patients the most. What happens is everyone that wants to do business does medical, not because they care about patients, but because they just want to be involved in
and
the
they want it
business.
to
They want
be
their foot in the door.
start.
They're waiting
Yeah.
for rec. The second rec hits, they just abandon the
See you
medical.
later.
Yeah, and it's like, fuck. It's, not everyone will do it. And it's like, you can't, I'm not like slagging them. It's like, I get it. You want to be involved in a certain market. You're going to, when I told the TGA in Australia, the group that basically decides licensing, I said, listen, the more strict you make this, the more people you're going to have just getting licenses because it protects them. And those protections, unfortunately, because it is important to protect people from unjust prison, unfortunately undermines patience. It undermines patience. It convolutes the whole thing that patients are trying to be involved in. Here in Canada, it
It
was a
happened in
nightmare.
Canada.
It was a
Yeah.
nightmare. Everyone got these huge licenses. They growed massive amount of herb, and they were designated growers for patients or a patient, and the patient almost never got what he was promised or she was promised, and it just became, and it's hard to like, I used to sell herb in the illegal world, and that was many many years ago, 30 plus years ago, but I don't think it's like wrong. I don't think it's like, oh, you're bad if you do that. It's just different than when you do it on the other side of the fence. There's different repercussions. And so I never liked using patients as a shield to I honestly, when I got my license to grow cannabis in Canada, I felt like one of the only licenses truly that wasn't growing for the black market. And don't get me wrong, the black market needs herb too. They needed it. There wasn't enough of it out there. They needed to be
Free
growing it.
market. I
I
don't know.
love
Yeah,
You can
just
call it
kidding.
whatever you want, but we called it the
Tradition.
black market forever. So I'll just keep calling it what it
I'm only
was, the
playing. I
black
like it.
market.
I like it. I
And
like it.
it was what it was. I was involved in it for many years. I don't think it's going to go away anytime as long as there are these pressures. And I told that to the TGA: if you make this illegal and only for a license, everyone and their dog is going to go and get these doctors' letters and these. It happened in Canada to the point where the doctors were making so much money. They were charging like thousands of dollars to give people licenses, which has to be like also like the
It was a
gray area
fucking
of
racket.
doctoring.
Yeah.
Yeah, it creates a
It's like
monopoly too,
it created a
in the
monopoly. And then
markets.
unfortunately, when all the companies went wreck, my mom was so stoked. She's like, oh, this company, Whistler Medical, they have 18 different little, what do you fucking call them?
Sub
Alcohol tinctures.
sublingual. Oh, tinctures, yeah.
I think they were tinctures or sublinguals, but basically drops that she really loved. They helped her sleep, and there was 18 kinds, so she was able to come in and try two or three before she found the one that worked. And then they sold to Tilray and went rec, and they had like two tinctures available like within months, right? It was just like they just kind of were like, we're just gonna shut the door on this whole thing because it's harder, like ask
Yeah.
Yeah.
anyone. It's the
I've been to
hardest.
that
Like
facility actually. I think I didn't I go there with you or I was there with Daniel or you? I was there with you.
at Whistler Medical, yeah, we went to the
Yeah,
Whistler
we went
Medical.
there. Yeah. That was a really cool. It was between those two huge like the right up
Yeah.
against the mountains. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It
That
was
was a
at Function
beautiful.
Junction in Whistler, just before kind of the first part of Whistler. We
Our
turned left.
friend, yeah, Josh
Beautiful
worked there,
facility.
and who else? Yeah.
What's that, Josh?
No, the original growers and stuff, and I'm forgetting the really amazing person's name who went to our Green Organic Dutchman. But anyway, there was some good people in Whistler Medical at first.
But
Oh,
for the
yeah.
medical market, maybe I can give a few words
Please.
also from Germany. So I see we have some kind of different medical insurance system than other countries. So I'm used to when I go to the doctor and the doctor says you need this and this medicine, it will get paid by the health insurance.
Yeah.
This is how I grew up, and this is how I think the market is yeah should go. But in cannabis, it's exactly not this.
Well, this
And
this is how pharmaceutical companies avoid what medical cannabis companies generally can't avoid doing, which is dealing with the customers, the patients. Dealing with those people is super hard. Some of them are dying, some of them are terminal, some of them are sick, some of them are, they're all the things that make you the grumpiest and the most pessimistic and the most like you're allowed to kind of be pissed off when you're dying of some fucking disease. And so dealing with those people, that's exactly what the pharmaceutical companies do not want to do. So they buffer out, they buffer away from them, and they deal with insurance companies. And insurance companies deal with patients. And yes, my friend Hans was one of the first. I think it's Hans. He had what was the main cultivar in Germany? It was from Bedrocan. Was it Floss?
Petrocan is Dutch, but in Germany
Oh,
it's Demican.
Oh, Demican. Demican's the only one growing all the weed in Germany.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
importing it.
Afria Cannabis, they have a facility, I think, in Bavaria, but
Okay.
In Bavaria.
I think so, yeah.
That's a
That's
crazy place to have the
that's
facility.
But I think it's more than a marketing thing. But Demican is the only
Yeah.
German company which grows in Germany, but
Yeah. I met
still
them like
struggling.
3 years ago at Mary Jane. I went and met them. And my buddy Dave from Big League Genetics had been sending them cannabis. And if you went to the Demicon facility, they would have like a little thing in the front of some of the flour they were importing. And I guess Dave's flour was the highest THC flour ever imported into Germany at the time. It was some absurd like 34.
32 or something.
No,
Yeah.
it was like a 34 or
34.
35. It was really high. It was
Yeah. I
crazy.
mean, we used to work with most of the companies with Vibes closely, also with the Mary Jane Expo because we were responsible for the business lounge a lot of the years. But every company has a struggle. Yeah, the ones they have a little bit time to wait for their recreational time. The
Yeah.
others they really want to stay in a medical serious market. And this is still a process. It still needs a time where we with
They're
Vibe,
still working on it, right?
yeah, there's still enough work for us, for Vibes, to
Yeah.
give consulting to these companies and to see how the market will go. We don't know how the politics also will change at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
they already changed
at the
one.
moment we are happy. Yeah, I don't think that it cannot went back. So,
No.
you can build a safe business in Germany. That I really, really appreciate that, and I'm thankful for that. So that's what we can do, consulting with brands. But how the medical market, and if you have a 4 or 8 year plan, it's always different at the companies. But I really,
It'd be
really
nice if the
appreciate it.
countries could look at other countries and be like, look, let's take a few of the things this country did, but all these things they did wrong, like, let's not do that. Every country does the same things wrong, one after another. It's
Czech
insane.
Republic is trying, I would say, trying to not do that, and we'll see how it goes here, because it's coming in nice and slow. But all the events here, all children can come to all of them,
Yeah.
which I think is really sweet. And every one of these large cannabis events, like CannaFest in November, it's like 25,000 people.
Are they still
And
arresting people? Like, can you get arrested for smoking a joint? Like, or is
oh,
it
not,
chill?
I mean, there's no one would ever arrest you for smoking a joint. You can smoke a joint anywhere in town here.
It's legalized.
Yeah, I know it's full. This is the first,
You can have 100 grams in
yeah,
your pocket.
legal, thing.
But
In
they must
Prague.
have areas like they don't want you
All
smoking
of
out next to the playground at the
all of Czech
school and
Republic.
stuff. Do they?
Yeah, in
Germany,
Czech
I don't-
Republic. How about in Germany? Are they arresting people in Germany?
No. And
No, you can
it's
smoke
still a
all over.
process where
Okay.
everybody looks what police is doing and stuff. So, but the big things are not happening.
What
You
he's
know?
saying is in
Wow.
Germany, you have to be careful of, like, if you're in Bavaria,
Yeah.
that whole state of Bavaria in Germany, like, you don't smoke out on the street there.
What
That's not,
about in
but
Germany
in
for like
Berlin,
they
like, you
they
can smoke literally everywhere.
You can
they
smoke, but not in the city.
It's like New York now.
like they
It-
take your blood in Germany if they think you're under the influence of cannabis. Do you think that will go up with legalization in Germany?
It
Like,
has.
of course it
No,
has. No,
you just get a bill for 300 euro if you smoke. But
but
then you
are they
can go.
taking
License
blood?
away from the part on the road.
Yeah,
Then you get
if you have a
swab.
license, you have a problem. But in the city of Bavaria, you pay 300 euro and then you can go.
Yeah,
What if
because
you
that
get
was
caught with stuff in your luggage at the airport or something like that? Would they?
No
you got
problem.
plans, Dr. Mark?
No, I'm just wondering. It's like- I'm just curious again. Like, do they enforce possession laws?
Oh, I bet you they do. At the federal border, even in Canada,
Yeah,
like you can't just bring
yeah.
anything in. We're federally legal, but if you come into Canada with weed, they're taking it away for sure.
Right, but if you got
I have an interesting point. Maybe this is in Germany. I can have 25 grams on pocket. So I moved right now with the train today from Germany to Czech Republic. So from the German law, it's legal to carry my cannabis and to bring it out of Germany.
I
But from
see.
the Czech Republic law, it's not legal to bring cannabis into Czech
Whoa,
Republic.
really?
Even it's legal to have 100 grams on
Oh, you
pocket in
still have
Czech
to.
Republic.
That's weird.
These are laws. They are already not made because no one had this struggle
It's a federal
before.
border. They would have to have that. Otherwise, it would be a free for all.
And,
Everyone they want to protect
I
their own
cannot
But
bring back
industry.
my weed.
international
Cannot
law
bring back my
still
weed.
allows you to bring your medicine and travel with your medicine.
Oh
You just
yeah,
have to fight
yeah.
it.
That's no problem.
You can
Medicine, no problem.
you can get permission. You can do a whole variety of things, but just bringing a bunch of weed over the border, like there's when we started it here, we weren't importing almost anything because they didn't want to undermine the people who were trying to grow in Canada for the the people that were investing to put the money in to grow in Canada. They didn't want some dude in Colombia to go, hey, I got like 400,000 kilos if you need any weed. It's like, holy shit.
Well, a lot of the weed in Germany is from Canada, as you know, and
Of
becoming
course.
Thailand. I mean, there's probably more Europeans living in Thailand right now than Thai people.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But there are a lot of
65
Europeans out
million Thai people. So that's a big
There's some
number.
incredible grows out there, and all the European like family, a lot of them have gone out there to like grow. And there is some really good representation of BC living soil Kootenai farmers in Berlin, like Kootenai's finest, Kootenai cultivar, Coots canna, sweetgrass, rosebud. Those are probably five really well-known grows in the Kootenays that are doing business in Berlin, and it's nice to see it. And we met I forget that one person's name, but yeah, who's representing them. But yeah, it's good to see that there's people from BC, getting their medicine to this market.
Yeah, absolutely. So
But we're here in Prague also. We're working on Prague 420, which is an event that's right before Mary Jane, the week before Mary Jane, and it's on an island in the middle of the river, and it's going to be a really spectacular event. Marco's running the whole B2B, business to business lounge. Kelly's right over here in the background saying hi, are running the educational component of it. So, and again, we're opening this up, to our community of educators, but it is a good time for us in the US and Canada and different places to come and share our education with the community here. And we're putting together a whole beautiful weekend of demonstration and education and
We'll be taking the chat.
yeah, and collaborating with Czech educators and people from Europe who are here as well to bring education to the people. So we're really excited about it. And also going to Conapex and ICBC in
In
Berlin.
April.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this festival is 1 week before Mary Jane. Guys, everyone is really, really invited to the Vibes Garden. Yeah, just check it out. We come out with some more information and with the very awesome artwork from Mossy Giant, which I really want to show you the next weeks. I'm out. Thanks, guys, for listening. And I hope I see every one of you
Thanks,
in the garden.
Marco.
Yeah? I
Really
make my
nice
place
to meet
free
you.
for Kelly. Maybe she wants to say
Yeah.
also a few words.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you guys for all your work. If you want to connect, check out Vibes.
Yeah, check out Vibes. We can send his link on there and also DM us as well, or however it works. And we're just
They don't see me, huh? Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Hard to see the background when you got the background. It's like you need a green screen. Then it doesn't
And
do
just
that.
like that, he's gone.
I know, it's
just
pretty sweet.
disappeared. Just disappeared into the ethers. What's everyone smoking on?
Well, College Park Gushmans. That's kind of what we're into at the moment with some like super cured, amazing sparkly hash in it.
Okay. I see you. I'm gonna smash out. What was this again?
Got some blue
This
night.
was
And some GMO banana. So we got some GMO banana going on as well.
This one was, it's all thiols. It's like this is a major GMO one. I'm like brain spacing the name. I had Please Wash Me, maybe? I think it is. All right. Well, how about Please Smash Me? A little dabble do ya.
I ended up smoking the sour SFV that Doja grew out at his farm this year with
Nice.
and he collabed with Feel Good and I put a little bit of the Z biscotti on it. You know, I had to.
You
Sorry.
Z'd it up.
I'm sorry, guys. I apologize.
Never apologize for Z'ing it up.
Got
There's
nothing
just
to
something about that
apologize.
profile. There's a
Listen,
reason
bro,
why it
it's-
wins so many contests.
Make some different samples together, bro.
Ridiculously good.
We're
Yeah.
putting together, Marco works with this 420 cards, and it's a card deck of ganja varieties, and they're THC and CBD, and their height and their flower and their harvest and yield and indoor and outdoor yield.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a card game. So there's a lot of numbers and stuff that have gone into it, and maybe I don't know if we want to describe it more, but it's like a collector's item as well. So they're doing different generations of it, and we're gonna put together a Dragonfly family edition where we're gonna do breeders cards. So anyone who's interested that would like want to put together like a card like with their variety that they've worked on and some information about it, we're going to put together a card deck and only make 5,000 of them because there's 65,000 people coming to the event, and they'll be collector's items, and we can continue going because it's how many 32 cards or 32 32 varieties in this. So
And we'll be working with the breeders.
so we're working on hitting up some breeder family
That'll be working.
and that want to work with us and come together on making a card deck.
That's super dope. I sold some of my Pokemon cards at midnight on the Whatnot app where people sell Pokemon. Just on like we never did it. It was our first time.
That's
And
cool.
I have a big collection. And last night I was like, let's sell some of these cards and yeah, I love trading cards, just to say the least, you know.
That's so cool. And then these ones are and then there's like these hidden gems, and then that card is different looking, meaning it's flashy and rainbowy.
Yeah, I'm into it. That's literally my look. I got cards at arm's reach, you know, like
It's all blurred. We can't. That's cool.
graded slabs.
Oh, you're treating those proper.
Oh, just like
You're not fucking around. Joss has just
yeah.
reduced his to 8s, like just by showing them once.
Right.
Oh,
That's
dude,
funny.
there's levels to this shit when it comes to collecting.
Really?
Oh my God, dude,
I
they don't
got to
ever
be
touch it.
careful.
No one that owns a
Look,
Pokemon card has ever touched the Pokemon card.
check
Whoa.
out. So one of my buddies, Soulfire, he's a breeder out here, and I think he's from Seattle.
Look at this.
He has like a kind of like a rendition of that as well. This is the
That's really
Phoenix
cool.
Forge, and this is
Can I see
the
the
card he did. He did this one for me, the Masonic Smoker, and it's like the chicken man with the weed in the background. It's
I
pretty
love
dope.
that.
Yeah.
That's
He
really
gave me a
cool.
couple. He gave me a couple to give away to my following, but I'm down to like the last two. I'm probably gonna keep those for myself.
You should.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So we had some done for Legends, and I don't think they ever got released. And I think Brian from D-Nail still has them, but they were glass cards.
Whoa.
Yeah, he did a whole variety of these glass ones, and I haven't even seen them in person, but apparently they're pretty cool. Not something you want to throw in the back pocket.
I was about to say hard to
No.
shuffle, huh?
It depends on how good you are, Etienne. I couldn't shuffle them for shit. I'd for sure end up with glass in my hand, my eye, my neck. But that's just my luck. I broke a banger the other day. Actually, my first JP banger broke by itself. I went to pull it out of the universal heater and it was in pieces. I was like, what the fuck? Never seen that. And I wasn't in the room when it happened. So the banger, actually, it wasn't that banger. The one I threw away was a puke and beagle. I found it over here. The bottom weld just popped out on it. And I was like, oh, fuck it. So I threw it, hit the edge of the can and broke it into pieces. And I thought right away, that glass is going to end up in my foot. It hasn't yet, but it will. Don't worry.
The day the mothership tilted over and broke, my original JP Toro was in there. My big boy, the original. I like him. It's the best one.
Yeah.
And thank God that one didn't break. Freaking that would have been another
Went for a
$600
ride, dude. You want to go for a ride? Ooh, no.
Hey,
Yeah.
take the little wins like that, man. That's a W.
That is a
Yeah.
W. That's not even a little W. That's a huge W.
Oh, man.
We got to celebrate the wins. The cannabis community is not so good at celebrating their wins. Let me just say that out loud. We're so just addicted to activism that sometimes we forget to just pet each other on the back and say, "Hey, good job there, Etienne. Good job, Kelly."
Well, it's
job,
people
Edgar.
forget is that activism's a lot of losses. You got to take a lot of L's to get to the victories, and those victories are few and hard fought. So when they're brought about, I mean, they're special. Well, look who joined us there in the dragonfly world. Hello, beautiful. How are you?
Hi, lovely people. Boy, you all just really make my day to see everybody. And it feels really good. How about this Year of the Fire Horse? How's everybody doing just a couple of days in? How's
We're
it feeling?
galloping.
Are you? I
Absolutely.
like that.
Unshedded
You're
all that.
a good
all that
galloper.
last.
I'm just horsing around.
Well, it's like this fire horse it only comes around once every 60 years. And, in China, it's the highest rate of abortion a year because in order to have a fire horse is a very intense sign. So those people who are turning 60, which is a lot of our friends now, I guess we're there, came from the year of the fire horse. And in Bali, if you have a child who's the year of the fire horse, you pretty much are indebted to have to do ceremony all the way up until that child is 18.
And they have to do
And then-
ceremonies by themselves and not with the
And then there's if they have twins or something like that, then they're super doomed with debt. But basically, this year really is attuning to whatever you've been working on the last 6 years is really going to burn off and come to an incredible fruition. Those of us who have been fucking around, not doing anything, or not being good or kind to people, then that could be the fruition that you have. But those people, a lot of us have been moving, feeling like we're sort of moving in the mud. And sometimes you're like, wow, am I even actually getting somewhere? Well, this year, the fire horse is going to catapult us to that hard work that we've all been putting in. And I personally see an incredible uplift in the cannabis market and what's possible, because I think there's an incredible amount of very hardworking, intentional, kind, compassionate people who've been working really hard to keep this industry alive and keep it relevant. So I think this is our year.
Well said. I think why not? Why not us? Why can't it be our year? Try to say that to my son all the time when
Our
he's
turn.
kind of doubting himself. I tell him, "Hey, why not you? Why couldn't it be you? You know, it's like it could be you as likely as anyone else." And
You're that guy. You're
you know,
that guy, you
yeah,
know?
absolutely. You know, the other day he was at ski school on Whistler Mountain and he saw my stickers all over the mountain, the circular bee ones and the wizard with the orb in his hand there that says Bubble Man at the bottom with the ice and the trichomes. And he's telling his ski school buddies, he's like, "That's my dad, that's my dad." And his ski school teacher's like, "Your dad is Bubble Man?" And he's like, "Yeah, my dad's Bubble Man." He's like, "Oh, okay, that's what's up." Like this is all unfolding in like my son's 11-year-old experience. And he goes, "What did he say?" He said, "Dad, I want Bubble Boy stickers." I said, "Oh, like we could make some Bubble Boy stickers and stick them all over Whistler." He's like, "Yeah, Dad, I want to do that." I said, "So now I got a design. That's the one that is I have all over Whistler Mountain. Now I got to come out with a cool version of his with like no beard, you know, the young face, Bubble Boy." I
Stubble
just,
boy.
I just love that he embraced it because I always will be honest. Like whenever anyone called me Bubble Boy, I'd always kind of be like, I don't think I like that. You know, you like back in the day when I first went on the internet, I'd get people going, "Listen, Bubble Boy," and I'd just be like, "Motherfucker, like Bubble Boy." But my son, he thinks it's great. So it's just one more way that I was tempted into being negative by people who may not have even been being negative to me on the internet. But my son taught me there's a better way. Embrace it. Embrace that shit, Dad. Yeah, you're Bubble Man. I'm Bubble Boy. Let's do this.
Boy, man,
Boy, man.
watch your
That's
face.
Yeah, that's funny. 6 minutes. I'm gonna give away a very big spoon. It's gonna happen. Could be anyone. Let me see. There are 91 entries. Yeah, fictitious freedom. Listen here, Bubble Boy. Telling you, man. I've had that said to me many times. Thanks for showing the spoon, Etienne.
I'm not crying, you're crying. Guys, don't be telling us stories like that, freaking I'm bubble, that's a good
And the
one, man.
catch in the cradle and the silver spoon. No.
That is a silver spoon. Oh yeah, incoming mac and cheese spoon. Honestly, I haven't done it myself, but if I was like 21, 22, I'd crush a box of Annie's with that spoon. Apparently, mac and cheese has taken a drastic hit. Yeah, Kraft has announced it like it's like hurting because that's the product that has like kept Heinz and whatever Kraft Heinz alive for so many years. But I like to think a company like Annie's is helping be responsible for reducing the mac and cheese consumption from Kraft.
Pretty sure there's some interesting ingredients in Campbell's soup as well that we found out.
Well, you know what? That's why you got to download the Buyer app, BUY''R. That is a crazy app. It goes deep. You can really learn about the companies you're supporting and the families that own the companies that you're supporting. It's kind of insane. And it's all done through a camera and a QR code at the grocery store.
It's Ian Carroll's, right? He's
Yep.
the one that does that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ian's.
Really incredibly
It's really
That's
good.
really cool.
I've been on it for, I don't know, however long, whenever it came out. I don't know if it's been 4 months or 3 months but it is quite something. It's worth the $5 subscription, I would say.
Absolutely.
If that's important to you. That is not important to everyone. I get it. But if it is, check it out.
It's interesting. We feed, kids a lot of mac and cheese or have in the past and a lot of, the Kellogg's cereals and stuff. But it's interesting when you give them a choice and you tell them what is in one and what's in another. It's they like to choose the healthy version of it if they do have a choice. And I just sort of see that across the board. So I don't know if things are changing or maybe there's, sort of a higher frequency of beings coming in right now. They would sort of have to be. Something's got to give. We need the recruits for sure of some higher intelligence. But seems like a lot of kids are really interested in healthy over crap.
Well, it's nice to see young people drinking less alcohol. I got to give that up to cannabis. She's definitely been a big part of that. And seeing big companies announce that, it's kind of like, holy shit, like you gotta know they don't want to announce that. If they were allowed to, they would lie about that all day long, but they can't. They're public companies. They have like, you can just go online and see how much their sales are dropping.
Gallo Wine is leaving Sonoma County in Napa
Holy shit.
Valley. That's huge.
Going to get some
So that,
property
I
up
mean,
in Saskatchewan.
that's a major ripple. I'm just stating.
Yeah.
I'll report that alcohol drinking in Prague is at a very healthy level.
Very
Oh, I
all-time
bet.
high.
You can
Oh, I
even go to a
bet.
beer spa if you want, and you can bathe in beer while you drink beer. And that's
Personal.
not a joke. It's a reality. There's beer spas all over the city. And you all know that I want a hash spa.
Of
I
course.
want a hash
You need
making
one, dude.
extraction facility where all the water goes into cold water hash dunks.
The cold water plunge in the terpene, the cold water volatile organic compound dunk.
I mean, come on.
Is that
And
what we're
then
doing here?
afterwards, all that water gets,
Dude, when you cut the ribbon
dispersed
at that
onto a
place, I want to be
garden
the first
of
guy to dunk in the terps.
It's yours. It's yours.
Yeah,
You're already there.
you're gonna cut the ribbon on that
Dude,
one.
I just want to dunk the terps. Full body. Imagine
Is
just
extra
this.
for like purple bath.
I want to be sticky. If anyone's gonna say, "Oh, you're gonna get sticky," I'm like, that's why I'm doing this. I mean, come on.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. I'm going to do the giveaway. There are 111 people entered as of such. 111. I and
Good number.
I and I. There it is. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I like to share the screen when I do this so that they know I am being, oh, what's the word? Transparent. Let's just make sure I have all my horrible tabs at the top closed. Just joking. All right, so there we go there. Now I'm gonna have to pull Hash Church out of here because I can't communicate in there. All right, let's see. We got 114 people are entered. You guys can all see that, right? So I'm gonna pick one. Here we go. Choose a winner. Get ready. Email me if you win. Listen, please. bcbubbleman at icloud.com. Just email me right away if you win this so then I don't have to do another one. So here we go. We're choosing a winner. Ba-boom. Press Club, Renee DeJong 6863. Better take a picture of that because that's not an easily rememberable one. So you, Renee, have won. You've won. You won the spoon. That's so cool. You'll love it. Trust me. Telling you, even if you just cook with it and stir, it's an awesome spoon. But if you pull hash with the big fucking spoon, it is an awesome feeling. Everyone loves big pulls, and that spoon is a big pull spoon. So Renee has won. Let's see if she oh, there she is, or he, I don't know. Rena DeJong 6863. I will not assume your gender, but you're probably something. So hit me up. bcbubbleman at icloud.com. You got to be something, man. Or woman.
You know, another cool thing the Press Club has are these cool cleaners that fit inside your mason jars. They got a large one and a small one. So if you have glass pieces, like I always smoke my joints and then I have glass tips over. Well, I clean my glass tips and re-roll them. So this is perfect for putting in and soaking and not have to worrying about. Got a cool little lip so you can pull it up and out. It's got one on the inside if you got a banger or something that needs to be hooked in. So Press Club, small family. I bought these myself because they're awesome. Highly recommend. They've just good, solid shit. That's all I can say.
Dude, that is awesome. I thought you were holding up the fucking the outside part of the universal heater.
No, this actually slides inside, so you can put your cleaner inside a standard, small mason jar, and they have a tall one for a tall mason jar. So they're made and functional for useful stuff, and you can put it down, and it's flat enough that you can actually seal the top too. So, pretty brilliant stuff, man.
Awesome.
And I just wanted to remind everybody to really make sure to use good alcohol, and that means not isopropyl. So there's a lot of stuff out there on isopropyl. If you smell it, you're breathing it in. Hulda Clark did a whole lifetime of work with isopropyl. So there's a lot of ability to get ethanol, moonshine. It's
Diamond Clear,
yeah,
like
just a
one
lot
of those
healthier.
organic alcohol companies, you can get a liter for $20 or
Yeah,
something.
you'd be shocked at how cheap it actually can be. A lot of people say, well, I need something cheap. Well, there's a lot of other same cost, effective alcohols out there that are just a lot healthier for us.
And you can read the book, The Cure for All Cancers. Cure for All Cancers, Hulda Clark, and she has a lot of information on isopropyl alcohol. Better not to use it. Why
Yeah.
we all want to be healthy, smoke weed, be healthy. So just quick little thing, use organic alcohol. Pretty
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, or ethanol.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out. I got an email, but I got it from Alikins, and Alikins is in the chat, but he's not the person who won. So I'm trying to figure that out right now. I just want to put this to bed so I don't have to deal with it anymore. So if you have not sent me an email, winner, chicken dinner, please do. Please send me an email. And anyone else like Alikins, don't send me an email. Otherwise, I'll assume you won and I'll send you a spoon. Oops. Everclear. Oh, my goodness. That was a really good dab. Did I clean my banger properly? I did. Ooh.
Yeah, I took an extended release dab earlier, so I'm still coasting off that dab.
Oh
It was
yeah,
like,
that's always the best when you take a real ripper on church and it gets you through like the first hour and a half. You're just like, holy shit, dude.
Got
I
a bit
rock
of the
my head pretty
Wawas.
good. Yeah, yeah. I've been pleasantly elevated for this whole show. Figured it was a mellow show. Nice Sunday. Been up since 5 a.m. Nice and early, not doing anything of value to society, just watching hockey with my son, but it was valuable to me. Valuable to me. Let's see if she's going to send this email or he. I keep calling her a she, but that's not necessarily the case. Where are you? Email disappeared. There we go. Well, so what? The next big thing is Mary Jane? No, you guys.
No, the next big thing's
ICBC's
Barcelona.
Spanibus?
Well, Spanibus is in Bilbao. I
Yes.
think no,
11, 12, 13.
ICBC's first.
Is it?
ICBC's first. Yeah, ICBC's first. The
That's
day
good.
after that is Bilbao for 3 days. And then that's Spanibus. And then
A week
and
after
then
that.
and then 420, the actual like April 20th, it would be smart to be in Berlin because it's
Right.
just an amazing 420 event. And Daniel from it puts on at the Brandenburg Gate a really big event there, which is cool. And then Konopex is the event that's happening in Czech Republic and Ostrava right after that. So that's April 23rd and 4th.
Oh,
And
if I go, I can't do all of that. I think I would do Spain and Germany.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
just
a
do
lot.
ICBC. Well, if you come for Mary Jane, then you
that.
would do Prague 420 and then Mary Jane because it's just a couple days in between.
Yeah,
And
but
that
I'm
would be
I'm so busy traveling here right now. I have so many different places to go
I
to
know.
that it's like getting it's causing me anxiety actually.
Yeah. Well,
Would you so
that's a good problem in a way, that means that you're getting out there and your brand is getting out there, and that's a really good thing to hear.
are
So
you wanting to go to ICBC then? Is that something you would like to? Of
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd very much
course,
like
I
to
know
go to
you normally
ICBC.
go.
Yeah,
And then
ICBC is a
would
good event.
would you ideally want to come back for Mary Jane as well?
I mean, maybe it depends on all of like I have to this month I have to go to Quebec. No, sorry. All in March. Quebec, New Mexico, and Colorado. So three, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot. Like if I spend
Oh,
3 or
cute.
4 days in each place or 5, it's like half the month.
And Vermont.
And Vermont. Yeah, maybe a quick lunch over in Vermont with
We're trying
Dr.
to do a
Marlene.
hugelculture workshop in Michigan as well through all this with Organotron, with Chase and Organotron in the middle of Michigan,
Well, you
which
know what?
would be spectacular.
What a beautiful opportunity to shout out the late great Dr. Elaine Ingham. And
Yes,
There you go.
I'm sure that both of you would love to say some lovely words about
I
Elaine.
would. You know, I really have to shout out Elaine for she sort of came in the back door to the cannabis industry, honestly. And all of those who found out about her as she just sort of became this jewel of information sparked people really into a whole entire different thought process. And for us to be able to see Elaine's work and where she had come from, and then talk about standing on, the shoulders of giants, then our work mixed with, ooh, we've got something going on. That was very odd. You could tell that we're on a call right now. Hmm. Yeah, she's just been an incredible inspiration. I think I'll leave it at that because I'm not sure who's at the door, and I'll come back on.
Hey, awesome. Sometimes that's how it goes. Sometimes things go think you're going to go left. Sometimes you think Canada's going to win the gold medal, and they don't. Congratulations to the U.S. hockey team for
That was tough. That was a good
taking it.
game though.
Oh, it was incredible, dude. Oh my God. It was insane. The
I haven't
will,
watched it yet. Don't tell me how it ends.
And the
the
women too.
will.
The women won gold too as well.
Yeah, they did. They absolutely
Don't
did.
tell him. Don't.
Double year. That's nice. They can all celebrate that together. I bet you'll see them both together, like in places. Yes. Did I just won? Yes, you did just won. Let's
Absolutely.
hope. Here, I will add.
Now, the great thing is that they're role models for kids who can say, look, look where you can
Well,
go.
this is
Yeah.
where, Elaine should be just as important as that sports person in the sense of, I wish we viewed those important people like her in this type of context because this is a type of person who elevated everybody selflessly. Okay, this
Hmm,
is somebody who took it upon herself to educate others and to do the hard work, to take the vitriol and accept it with grace and a style all her own and continue to drive change. This is inspiration, people. These are people who should be held on a pedestal and who should be celebrated for what they did. And I saw so little understanding of people who knew who she was, much less the work that she did and how important it was to people who are important to us, right? So, it's really important to understand, people who are just thinking about the regenerative soil and caring about what's in your soil. I mean, Dragonfly Earth Medicine continues on her shoulders. I mean, and that's what's beautiful to see is that we can speak of these people, but know that their work carries forward. That's true legendary. That's people who, as I say, get off your ass and do something. She did something that mattered and helped all of us. That is something that I think we can all aspire to, and especially a woman role model that especially other women should definitely look to and toward, and history will.
I totally agree with that. And I'll just add the historical context that she was originally a big part of the organic food revolution that came out of Eugene, Oregon, and Corvallis, which is Corvallis about 45 minutes north, and that's Oregon State University. And she was teaching at Oregon State University in the mid 90s. So in Eugene, there was Oregon Tilth and those original organic certifications, and there was a lot of information about composting and learning how to build soil and then create organic food. And then organic food got coined, and then the farmers markets really started there. And that's where also translated into organic weed and organic herb, and why Eugene in particular is really a homeland for organic medicine and not just for cannabis either. I mean, it's herbal headquarters. I mean, midwifery was also huge in the 90s, and that's where Kelly learned home birth midwifery. And most of that midwifery was learned while sitting in the garden, weeding and growing plants. And learning how to make compost tea, which was this thing that Elaine Ingham was bringing to the community to expand the microorganisms. And it was in a lot of ways like the first thing of like bringing science into it, to the common user, so it's like it wasn't just making organic compost, it was like spiking up thermophilic compost to the perfect temperature and then flipping them and doing it again to get the ideal amount of bloom, of microorganisms, and how that extra bloom of microorganisms allowed you to access more nutrients from the soil, which then in turn brought more nutrients to the food, which we're all in desperate need of. And it also created a more diverse spectrum of cannabinoids and terpenes, we believe, through living soil, and we realized it was living soil through looking at microscopes, and then you kind of be like, oh, well, it's kind of weird just looking at a page and just estimating how much life is there. But if you're into it and it matters to you, and I think indoor growers rely on it at this point, they rely on it, and testing their soil every cycle or every other cycle has become the norm, and I think it was the last conference Elaine did, Kelly spoke with her at the Grassroots Fabrics Living Soil Symposium in Nevada at Prump at the Green Life Productions
Yeah,
farm.
it was really nice actually. We did a whole women's circle together and really you know, she's a really special lady. But honestly, I could tell that there was just a little bit of differences even at that time. So I think there was some signs that I could just tell that she wasn't as sharp as she had been before. Because anyone who knows Elaine, she's been like she could listen to several different conversations at once and sort of answer them all super sharp. But there's a beautiful softness to her. Yeah, just a real hero. Thanks so much, Elaine. What you left in your wake has really helped out an entire generation of farmers, growers, cultivars, breeders. So
And they used to
last
sell,
thing.
they used to sell those soil food web laboratories to different people in the world that were like her students, and if you were a student for a while and you're like, we saw one on Kauai, in the early 2000s, there was a soil food web lab, on Kauai used by the organic farmers there. And it was spectacular. And that was also this amazing point in time when Master Cho first went to begin the natural farming teachings on the Big Island. So then the Big Island was going off on natural farming and fermenting herbs and bringing plant medicine just super easy accessible to your fingertips, to where all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, I'm surrounded by nutrients. And all I have to do is be just smart enough to make them bioavailable to my plants. And you don't have to go to the store and buy nutrients, which we sold nutrients. So we sold nutrients since
And we're
2007.
always trying to talk people out of buying it.
And
We still do. We think it's a good idea to make your own if you can.
we sell nutrients, but we sell five, organic, biological, beneficial bacteria. I mean, that's nothing if you're honest with yourself. When you pick up soil, there's billions. So like put that with this, and wow. But yeah, it's a magical time, and I think Elaine dying is a moment to reflect on what's happened in cannabis since the legalization. I mean, a revolution in natural growing has been created under like canopy, all the living. So Green Life Productions in particular, since that was the last place we were with Elaine, is on their 45th indoor cycle. So 45 cycles indoor in a recreational, very scrutinized format, which is Nevada. And they're thriving and they're making amazing hash. I saw Ganja Gill over there making hash with them. It's really spectacular, to see the legacy continue. So I love being a part of it, and I'm very inspired by everyone doing it.
And I would say it's one interesting thing is that when Elaine and Josh and I were talking about, really juicing up your soil to be able to make things bioavailable to the plant, that was because and it really hit home with people at that time because there was plant counts. So people knew that if you gave it a bigger root zone, if you gave it more bioavailable nutrients, that you were going to be able to have higher yields. So in full, disclosure, the truth is that a lot of this information came all at the right time to sort of sneak into the culture of cannabis because people were starting to do a lot of living soil and putting their plants into the ground and working with a lot of microbiology and fungi and all of this because they were going for the higher yields with the 99 plants or maybe with the 6 plants. And I know that that's also really infiltrated the home grower as well, because if the home grower can only grow 4 plants, then, and they can do it outside, then a lot of these techniques are going to aid in those higher yields for people. So thanks, Elaine, and
It was
that
also
time
an
period.
odd time because natural farming was about anaerobic fermentation, and Elaine's whole thing was aerobic aeration and activation. So it was difficult for her to accept ferments. For a while
Oh, yeah. We had a lot of
there was
interesting
no room. Like
conversations.
they were just like, get it away from you can't have an anaerobic fermentation. Then and there was this beautiful, really a beautiful process that came together where you could realize where it went together and where one.
Think about all the techniques that really sort of crashed together at that time. And we could all have like, when Elaine learned about what we were doing, she just blow her mind. She's like, this is crazy. What are you guys doing? But then we just kept proving it to her and she would even run the tea and just be like, it's amazing.
And we would
How is this working? But we were sharing so much information and from her long years and history of it to have her come to the table with what she knew just made everybody's game better.
and the EM PDF files from Dr. Teruo Higa from Japan were spectacular at the time. And that was before we first got the Korean natural farming stuff. So anyway,
Right.
a rant, but yeah, probably a good one because she's in with Skunkman Sam. Now she's making compost tea in Skunkman Sam's greenhouse while Jerry's playing. I don't know. I'm just having fun, with Jerry and maybe
Jerry and Bobby.
Bob Marley, I'm thinking, you know.
Ah, yes. All the fallen
That would be an
folks.
extended jam, right? They were
Dude,
both
Jimi
into extended
Hendrix,
jams.
everyone, right? Everyone. Mozart. Why not move out of the generations? Go way back. Go way back. Well, I'm pretty baked. I'm not gonna lie. I've been enjoying listening to you guys. It was nice to hear nice words about Elaine. Pretty sad. Everyone's just passing away. This simulation that we're in is super trippy.
Yeah, you better live your
That's a
life,
good point.
otherwise you're not.
Oh shit. That is so true, dude. You know what? I'm sorry, guys. I gotta go. Just bounce. No, this is my life. I'm absolutely living
Yeah,
it
but
right now.
don't fear death, right? Like I think that quote that they keep on talking about from Bob Weir was just so prophetic, right? Which is that, you know, death is a reward for a life well lived.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but
living a
death is
couple
a
more years
reward
would help.
for a life not well lived as well. Like death might
Oh
just
yeah.
be the reward.
It seems as though it is.
And
It
it would
seems
be
as though it
nice if
is.
it was well lived, of course.
But
Live,
there,
that's awesome.
the one cool thing about it is it's the thing we have the least perspective on of like reality based perspective. So it could be anything, which
We all get
is
one
pretty cool.
one lifetime. What that time is what you decide to do with it or not.
Yeah.
35 years ago this week, I was in combat.
Oof. Well, I'm glad you're
That's
still
Bet
here,
you didn't
brother.
think that you'd be here 35 years later.
I did. We were not expected to live past 90 seconds. That was our rated back because of course everything was rated off of Eastern Europe. So we were expected to fire one volley and then we were expected to be vaporized. So we literally set our timers. And after 90 seconds, our alarms went off and everybody was just kind of
Oh,
dancing in the sand. In one of those bizarre moments where you're just like, hey, we're all alive. Woo! All right, back to work, killing people, weird shit. Yeah. So,
Jesus.
uh, but I did, I had a third heat stroke there and I physically flatlined. So I had a rebirth. And so we all choose what to do. And I think a little bit of that, I shook off my fear of death there. And everything else, I realized from then on, I mean, as they say, once you walk off the battlefield, every day else is gravy. So what have you got to lose, right? I already been in the government system. What's the worst could happen? Oh, I die, they kill me. Oh, already been there. So what? So what's the worst that can happen? Well, live your life. Live your life and enjoy it. Otherwise, other people will.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I even would think about, who you are and the person that, you've become, dare I say that, war is probably your greatest gift to who you've become and who you are right now. This is a really wonderful example of the dichotomy that war can be so incredibly potent towards positivity, and you've really lived that out. So it's nice to know that there's some good things and good people that can come out of war. You've really shown us that. Thanks, Etienne.
Thank you kindly. Just humble for the journey, and I had good teachers. If Jack hadn't have come to my university in '89, Herrera, and I hadn't gotten that copy of The Emperor Wears No Clothes, you know what I'm saying? It's very interesting, necessarily the seeds that we find that sprout along our journey along the way. Never expected, never could have predicted the path, but I realized nothing teaches you peace like war. And I knew, and I had studied, a lot of the greats, and the greats were definitely anti-war. And so I knew whatever path I took, it needed to be peaceful because I already experienced the worst. And trust me, no man or woman wants war. When you're sitting there on the front lines and you're all looking around and you're seeing a whole bunch of people who never smoke cigarettes, all smoking cigarettes, because you don't know if this is our last hour together, our last moment together. So you're not really, at a young age positioned with realities like that for the most part. But in the cities, that happens all the time. Growing up poor, growing up in areas, it's not exclusive to, combat and war. It's just my experiences that happened due to the combat and the war that I saw and the lies that I was told. And so it was a fucked up awakening as going literally from a child to understanding how I was fed propaganda and lies, believed it, did things that were inhumane and cruel and that are forever a stain on my soul. And I realized in my rebirth that I did not want to have more deaths on my conscience. I would want love and peace. And you hear and you read many a warrior who has survived combat to say, yeah, just give me a quiet plot of land and a garden, and I'm good. And for me, fortunately, it was horse farming when I came back. My battle buddy, who I survived with, his aunt was an equestrian horse person in Pennsylvania. And to come back to caring about humans came via animals, via nature, because I could not care about humans again. And I'm ashamed to say that, but that's kind of the reality when you're faced in a reality where they're shooting at me. What do I do? Well, you have to do the worst thing possible. And the fucked up perspective that a lot of us have is when I left, you all told me, please come back in one piece. And then when I came back from war, the first question you asked was, so did you kill anybody? So, we had to learn how to cope with that. And that's not an easy thing to cope with because there's a great deal of, for me, shame in that because my war was over oil. It was not over liberating a free people. And I don't take pride in what I did and what I have done. So I have tried to do my best to flip that script and leave the world in a better place than the stain I left on it as a child.
Well, thank the horse, bringing it back to the horse, the year of the horse, like bringing it right back full circle.
And welcome home,
Yeah.
ATN.
Oh,
You know,
The
thank
one
you.
thing you'll probably never know, ATN, is how many lives you've saved since you've brought cannabis to so many people. And I'm sure that those people will forever be grateful for you.
I hear it from the relatives of those who have passed, and that is the most beautiful, humbling experience you can get is to know that you affected somebody's life positively, and you don't hear from them. You hear it from those who cared for them because that carried forward. That is a humbling, beautiful experience I hope you can all have because that's a touching of the soul that is unfathomable and is something to be treasured. It shows that you did the right thing and you've been doing the right thing. And that's why I've tested. I think about that all the time, Dr. Sheldon. If we hadn't done testing and how many people we have saved just from testing alone, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? That is humbling, but at the same time, it shows how much work we still have to do. That's why I'll be at the UN next month working on the big picture. Still,
Which in turn will end up saving lives. So
literally,
you
that's yeah.
you are gonna do way more good in this world, ATN, than you did bad. So don't sweat it, brother.
Tell that to my soul. No, I do. I
ATN
believe that.
soul.
I have enough. I've
Just a
had
second,
enough
let me smoke some
psychedelics,
toad
but it's
venom.
still, I this time of year I feel the stain, if that makes any sense, and I'm
well,
humbled by it.
yeah,
And
but
I love
I
you all
think,
and appreciate your support and your willingness to appreciate it.
We
yeah,
love
you're
you.
not alone, ATN. I mean, one thing my dad always told me, and he was 101st Airborne, is you never forget the first shot that kills the first person. It just never leaves you. And you'll never forget the moment, the second, and that's just it. And you'll always, in his words, it was, probably could have been friends with him, but it was in that moment, me or him. So you're not alone. And, in those scenarios, you're very much, as you said, you're in the present. So now you're in the present in a different moment. So, thank you for your service and, again, welcome home, man. So,
Much love and appreciation.
Well,
yeah.
on that note, because we are actually here in an Airbnb, we have not been able to partake with you all in smoking. So I think we are going to go hit the unbelievable streets of Prague in the evening and go walk down to the St. Charles Bridge and go get super, super high and look at some crazy fucking architecture and talk about another simulation. Holy shit. I'm not believing any of this historical stuff or these numbers. This is a different simulation, and it is an absolute wonder to look at.
Really excited to check out the Alchemy Museum. And if 2002, I forget, there was a flood and they discovered a whole entire basement, well, no, tunnel system where they kept alchemical devices that they didn't know about. And they just found them. And then there's the elixir of life in there, and and so there's Benedictine monks in Prague here that have recreated the elixir of life as well from that recipe that they found. So we're really interested in alchemy, and Prague is one of the homelands of alchemy because of Bohemia, the Kingdom of Bohemia, and King Rudolph II. And if anyone's interested, they can learn more about that by learning about Rudolph II, the Kingdom of Bohemia, and alchemy, which also includes astronomy and astrology and glass and, oh my God, silver. And wow, it just melts you. You start melting because you just, and if you're from Oregon, like I am, it's like, what do I have? I have trees, they're all cut. I don't even have big trees anymore to look at anything old, right? So here I am, blessings and love.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for a wonderful evening. Thanks, Marcus, for continuing to show up. Love all
Yeah,
of you.
thanks for coming
Thanks,
out,
Marco.
guys.
Some vibes.
Yeah,
The
thanks,
irony that these guys are in a place where cannabis is legal everywhere except the one place they rented. You can't smoke in your Airbnb. What the what the fuck?
I'll do a
Maybe
dab
we
for you.
could,
But
yeah.
walking around will be nice. And I
Oh,
will
yeah.
say that after
Prague, yeah.
going back to anywhere, honestly, just going back to joints. After not smoking joints for almost 30 years, and I told my wife this the other day. I said, you know what? I'm actually just enjoying. I roll up my joint and then I walk around the property. I look at everything. I'll do it at like late at night when it's pitch black, just with my flashlight, just making sure, it gets you out. It gets you on a walk. I had a buddy of mine whose daughter wasn't doing too well, and he ended up getting her smoking cannabis, and he said it turned into this amazing experience where they both like would go for walks and smoke joints a couple of times a night, and they started talking more, and their whole relationship turned around, all from and the problems she was having, which was lack of appetite and not sleeping well, they just went away once she got off what she was doing, which was like, I think, being on screens or something, and walking and getting out there. So pretty cool thing that to have happen. So yeah.
I'm super happy for you, Marcus, and that, getting that feeling and everything. And
Transition.
yeah, that's super cool. And it is really special about it. So you guys are all spectacular human beings.
Thank you all
And
for
also,
making the world a better place.
yeah.
I really, really believe that each and every one of you all are here, and anyone who really, sees any of you all, your faces, maybe once a week or maybe once a month. But just know that anyone watching here, all of these men here on the show are doing really amazing things to make all of your lives easier. So thank you guys so much. I really love you. Have a great
Thanks,
day.
Kelly. Thanks,
Have a great
Josh.
day.
Enjoy the tour.
Give us a shout if you want to come to Europe
I
and
will.
vibe out with good times and have a really special meeting place together, because that's what we're doing. We're bringing the vibes out here, and
like
it's
it.
been hella received, super fun, and a really good opportunity.
Hell yeah. That's what's up. Well, good luck with it. I hope it crushes. And yeah, if things work out, I'll show up. But I got a lot of touring to do. It's good. Like you said. Hopefully I'll go see you soon, Kyle. Colin. I basically got my signed contract for the New York market. So I'm going to be coming and visiting, and coming to see you for sure.
Hell yeah, man. Nice. Yeah, come out, man. Yeah. You're welcome anytime, bro.
Dude, if I'm in New York, I got to see you in New York.
Yes, you do. I'll take you all around.
In the city or upstate?
Brooklyn.
Come down to Brooklyn.
It's in Brooklyn.
Brooktown,
Yeah, the facility is in Brooklyn.
B-Town. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, did y'all see this week that federal survey in the United States came out that after a decade, cannabis use by young people continues to decline.
Oh,
Now, why
no.
does that matter? Well, because they always told us that, oh man, all the kids are going to be smoking weed when it's legal and shit. So it's very interesting to see social science and sociology go flick to another, misinformation caveat that was a staple of our childhood. You know
Well,
what I'm
which just
saying?
connects to alcohol, right? It's like they're drinking less alcohol. Well, no shit. So then everything will decline. Because when do people try things for the first time? After they drank alcohol for the first time. That's when, or the second, or the third, or the 500th, or the 6,000th. Like, at least where I grew up, my friends were more eager to try almost anything if they had like 5 beers in them.
I
Oh
remember they
yeah.
did a study in Amsterdam like this, and they saw similar declines. Like once they had accessibility, the use just went down. You know.
Exactly. So, what do we got to do to get these young people to pick up the joints?
Totally.
Well, this is what, the Dutch found, right? When you actually
You gotta
educate
do
them on the
heat up the
good, that
fabrics.
the kids don't feel the fear, right? And why were a lot of kids, hiding and doing things, right? Because they were told not to do them, right?
Yeah.
That's why we did them. But the problem, of course, was the gateway lie in the sense of cannabis, right? Because the lie that kids were told about cannabis, and then they tried cannabis, and they were like, "Well, cannabis wasn't so bad. Well, what about this meth?" Right? Well, what about this? And that became a slippery slope. Is the lies that led to that curiosity, and then that access to that curiosity, right?
Yeah.
Because that then causes the real problems. And now, I mean, you can't even think about doing or buying or trying white drugs nowadays in the sense of white powder drugs just because of, fentanyl and death. I mean, Bubble Man, I tell the example of your friends who went out on a night and that's the reality that happened. It happened to a friend of mine who was had a knee surgery, was in pain. The doctor didn't give him pain, so he went around the block, bought something, and was found dead in his driveway from the fentanyl
It's fucked
a
up.
week before his wedding. So it's fucked up what the drug war has driven, but more than anything, the lies that we were told in our youth had real world repercussions that I think society is still struggling with today. I mean, 'cause some of us got lucky, but I mean, when I was a kid, I remember reading the two kids in fucking Franklin, Louisiana, who broke into the morgue and dipped two joints in formaldehyde and smoked those joints and died.
Damn. Guess that weed just wasn't strong enough.
I mean,
Like, what the fuck, dude?
who
Honestly, what
thought
the
that was a
fuck?
good idea? You know what
No,
I'm
listen,
saying?
listen. When I was, your story that you just told is almost verbatim for what some kids from my junior high did, which was break into some guy's garage, find a bottle of fucking, I don't know, like a 40 pounder of Captain Morgan's dark rum and drink this fucking thing and realize it was like antifreeze or something. Like, well, two of them died and one went blind. So it's like you can't, a these are like prohibition nightmare stories, right? Like the story, for instance, of all the fentanyl overdoses. Yes, fentanyl is a deadly drug, but it's almost always a lack of homogenization that kills people. It's hot spots in the drug. That's what you get too much fentanyl. If it was like legal fentanyl, you just have to take too much in pills. But if it's dosed out, you're not going to die. It's the taking of the black market fentanyl. That's what kills people. Like I would say 90% of the time, they're not trying to die. It's pretty fucked up. But same thing with this drinking. It's like, wow, they made it so hard for a kid to just even catch a buzz that these sort of unforeseen dangers pop up, and it's a very. I always thought personally that cannabis was like the safest drug when I was young. I say around grade 9 or 10, where you're like 15, 16 years old, getting into 17, close to 18, 19, 20. That sort of 5 year period, cannabis by far just seemed like the safest drug that anyone could be doing. And everything else that my friends were doing sort of sketched me out. Like it did potentially involve death. every once in a while, usually with alcohol and a highway traffic accident, but there were other experiences that happened as well. And it was just like, wow, cannabis just seemed like if you did have young kids and you knew they were going to be trying something, like, fuck, let's hope it's not hot MDMA fentanyl laced pills, overdose death. Death is such a terrible consequence. It's so extreme. It's such an extreme consequence for giving for trying out an experience that it seems to be one that we would have to and want to protect one another from. It's so dangerous.
I think I mentioned this story once before on Hash Church, like years ago, because I remember talking about it. And this was in the mid 90s, graduation week at this high school. I think it was in Springfield, Pennsylvania, which is a suburb of Philadelphia. And there was a horrific car accident where four seniors, all girls, perished in an automobile accident where they basically ran through two lanes of traffic and just hit this huge sycamore tree head on, and in their small little vehicle was crushed, and all four of them died. And what came out in the autopsies is, and two of these girls were captains of the cheerleading squad of a graduating class of a major Philadelphia suburb. Okay. You can imagine just when that happens, high school graduation week, what comes out, in the community is that the community is just completely devastated. They showed image. You couldn't be in the Philadelphia area without not seeing this story all over the news. And then what came out was they were huffing spray paint.
Holy
They're huffing
shit.
spray paint in rush hour traffic, including the driver. So the medical examiner for Delaware County came out with the autopsy, and it found, spray paint on the tongues of all these four girls. Imagine if their parents embraced cannabis and just said, look, you could stay home, smoke cannabis here, and because they couldn't do this, they were out in rush hour traffic huffing spray paint and died. And then after that, the medical examiner had to move away from Philadelphia because he was getting death threats from people, because of the what was the truth, which is these kids were just looking to get high.
They're looking for a buzz. This
They're
is the
looking for a
crazy
buzz,
thing.
right?
It's so
Quick
crazy,
buzz, right?
dude.
And found it in a can, and unfortunately, it literally cost them all their lives.
Oh my
That's
God,
terrible.
man. It really is. It makes, and it's
Unbelievable.
a tough one because nobody wants to touch that with a 10-foot pole. Like, oh, kids and like any
Well,
type
and
of
imagine the families. So imagine how devastated they are to not only lose their child, but then realize, gee, if I just let them smoke weed, they'd still be here, right?
yeah, I mean, who knows?
That's got to be the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah, I mean, I lost a lot of friends to just call it substance. Too many. And I always say cannabis saved my life, and it's because I was so enthralled with the plant and how everything around the plant and how that just was everything. So anything else just was like
I,
not in the same like wasn't on the same
Colin,
level,
I
right?
say it all the time. Cannabis saved my life. I grew
So
up in suburban New York City where it was easier to find cocaine and a ton of it,
exactly.
and tough to
Tell
find
us
good
some
weed.
cocaine stories, Dr. Mark. I just
The
Let's
only
not say that, but
weed we can get from the cocaine dealers in Manhattan was the little manila envelope full of seeds and stems you were lucky to get one joint out of.
was
I
that
mean,
early
really,
90s?
it was difficult to get weed, but it was easy to get crack and easy to get cocaine in the 80s. And so again, that's why I found Grateful Dead tour. I'm like, oh man, that weed at Grateful Dead shows, that's NorCal weed. That's good weed. That literally, Grateful Dead tour saved my life. Or else I would have been a spun out kid in some basement high on crack cocaine and probably would have died of heart attack in 1983.
You'd be Dr. Mark with a broken tooth and cracked glasses. You'd be like the plug, like I can get that pharmaceutical.
There would have
shit.
been no doctor at all. It's just been Mark, some lowlife.
Plug.
I gotta agree with you. I think looking back, good weed, and definitely I found good weed on Shakedown Street. I went there and found good shit when I couldn't. So, oh my God, you just had me had a realization. Literally, yeah.
Listen, even cops could find good weed on Shakedown Street. So that's the thing, right? We were talking about it earlier, Dr. Mark and I. They should not have called it Shakedown Street because the only ones shaking people down on Shakedown Street were the cops. Like, we weren't going to Shakedown Street to get shook down. We wanted like a veggie burrito, or maybe the fatty egg roll guy was around, and get some kind bud. Do you have any kind bud? That's what they used
Get
to
the
call
goo
it back
balls.
in the
Don't forget
day.
the chocolate goo balls with the armpit hairs.
Well, I would have to hold off on the armpit hairs, you fucking California hippie, Etienne. Jesus.
It's kind of like the baby and that you find in the in the king cakes this type of year. Happy post Mardi Gras, everybody. You know.
Ooh, Mardi
Right.
Gras.
King cake, right? King cake, is that what they call it? ATM?
Yeah, king cake stopped on Tuesday, unfortunately. Yeah, it's just a cinnamon sweet cake that they decide to put a baby inside and baby Jesus, That's what it's about. Well, baby Jesus.
Oh God. Yeah.
Baby Jesus. Well, I'm glad I got to give a spoon away. I think we're going to go till 12 today. So we got another 12 minutes. I had a wicked, wicked day on Whistler Mountain yesterday with my family. Mostly my wife and I had a very nice day. Just it was at one point in time, it must have been minus 16, minus 18 at the top of the mountain, blowing in my face. I was trying to get over to both my wife and I were like, oh my God, this is so horrible. It was just this hell we had to pay to get into this whole back area bowl called Symphony. And it was just like beautiful gladed trees, just really super mellow and nice in all directions, fresh snow to be found everywhere. It was fucking awesome. But I'll tell you, after 7 hours of it, like my neck is toit. I hope I can snowboard into my 80s, but if not, I'm going to give the next 20 years everything that I have snowboarding, because it is truly one of the things that I feel like feeds my soul almost more than anything. It's just soul feeding. If any of you guys ever come up to Whistler, stop in on the way up and we'll go hit some turns.
Yeah, I was just thinking I was so selfish when I was talking about how I got it repaired and it's mine. No, Uzi Glass repaired this for me from Orange County. I didn't know if I mentioned him, but his name is Uzi Glass. So,
That's what's
it,
up.
it probably means nothing to me, but it probably means the world to him to know that I said his name on a platform like yours. So,
How
shout
do we
out to
find
Uzi
him?
Glass. He's on Instagram, Uzi Glass. If you go through my
But is there
following and/or
underscores and
followers.
periods and stuff? We're all
Oh,
shadow banned.
UZZI_glass, I believe
There it is. UZZI_glass. That is everything. That's 90% of the shout out right there, dude. So glad you
I was
got
just
that out.
thinking.
Poor bastards. We're all
Also-
shadow banned. So if you don't know our exact spelling of our names, it doesn't really always come up unless you follow a big enough group of people that maybe follow him. It just shadows it. Just doesn't show it to you. It really sucks in a big way. Not a fan of that. But yeah, so that's what I was doing yesterday. Today is going to be a bit more of a mellow day here. We'll get maybe maybe we'll smoke some hash today. That's probably what I'll do on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. I'll end up smoking a varieties of hash. I got my Valenvera's unit back from Chimera. So I think what I'll do as well is I'll test these 3 different hazes that I have in the machine. I also have some goats, some golden goat from Alex Goche, which I'm more attuned to a particular kind. Does that smell absolutely incredible? It just has the most beautiful smell, this flower. It's surprising. I don't think it's going to grab for me, unfortunately. But it is quite lovely. Just doesn't want to. I give up.
Blurry.
Yeah, it was blurry. It was like, no. Hopefully you guys are all having a good Saturday or Sunday afternoon after this as well, finding something lovely to do.
Gardening, gardening.
Gardening. How
Yeah.
many young children do you have, Edgar? A couple?
I had my first son when I was like 18. He's like 14. And then my daughter, she was born during COVID. She's 5.
Yeah,
And then I just had my wife and myself, we
yeah.
got Alan. He just turned 9 months yesterday.
Okay. That's
Yeah, I
crazy,
got
dude.
3. I'm 33 with 3 kids. I
You're
chose
doing it.
expert mode, I guess, on
Yeah.
life when I got in here.
Yeah, for real. Because I did two until I was 40, and then I had a third one.
There you go.
There was quite a distance for us as well. You did your distance at the
So
start. I did mine at the end. 11 and 13-year difference between my youngest son and his brother and sister.
yeah, it's a whole different experience from like I was still a kid when I had my first kid, and now I'm like I got an identity for myself and somewhere to lay my head and a trade to say the least, a skill. So it's a
Totally.
little bit easier, you know.
Well, it's awesome to
So
have them to drive you in life as well. Like if you let your family, they can drive you in the best possible way. And so it's like I know I always love to work hard for my family, you know.
100%. That's my muse for sure on the day to day when I do stuff. I've been with my wife as long as, it's same wife, same everything. So I love it, This is what I do it for. It's all about that and everything else follows suit.
Well, you're making waves for sure, dude. I always see people talking about your shit. What are you most excited about? You can take us out for this last few minutes. What are you most excited that's either here or coming from
Um,
from your growing?
man. The toad venom, I'm well in that ripple that's happening right now. I got the clone only variety that everyone's talking about. I got it straight from the source, so it's verified with the dude that where it came from, Green Dragon. He kind of said my name, so the whole world kind of knows that I got a piece of that flame. So I'm well in tune with that variety. I already cloned it out and it's growing already. So the toad venom hype, I'm well in tune with that. But I talk about it every time. I like everything. I'm always growing everything, but I'm in the toad venom ripple. But as far as my primary focus on what I want to like breed with and make half of the donor on any given population that's coming up next. Like, I don't know why, but I keep thinking I'm gonna do Tropicana, just because it's been like 10 years since that, has been
Take it back
on,
to the roots.
yeah, and I'm just gonna do a Trop F3, some Trop hybrids, and simultaneously, without doing cross contamination or just doing it separately, do a toad venom thing somewhere in between, whether it's a feminized toad venom project or I make a toad regular hybrid and hunt a mel with toad venom aroma to hit to other varieties to make a toad venom line. But either way, like that's where my head's at as far as my next breeding projects are concerned.
Toad venom and trops.
Yeah, man.
That's what's up. All right. Well, cool, man. Fucking A. Thank you for coming on today. I appreciate you. Always good
Thank you for
chatting
sending
with
the
you
invite.
about what you're up to and doing your thing, dude. I love it. Love it. Thank the rest of the guys as well. Appreciate Josh and Kelly for coming on out of Prague there. I'm sure they're walking around puffing a big fatty right now, enjoying themselves. That's always trippy traveling. It's the one thing I can't wait for, just full regulatory legalization across the board. You just have your dabs, your weed, whatever you need in your little, like, oh yeah, I have some. You can just like tell them, yeah, I brought like a couple grams or whatever, just enough to get me, to a store here so I can buy some here. I used to have, when I used to go to Jamaica, I'd never bring anything except bubble bags. But the first things first, it's like, okay, I got here. Now I have to find the best weed. And that's been like 2 or 3 days, sometimes 4 days, just looking for the best weed. And then once I found the best weed, then it was like, all right, now I got to buy kilos of this weed and wash it. And then make like, it's going to take some time to dry the hash. So it was, on a quick end, it was 7 or 8 or 9 days before I had nice dried full melt hash in Jamaica. So that's why I used to go for like 6 weeks at a time, because if you went for a week, it wouldn't happen. If you went for 2 weeks, you might have like the last half of the week smoking what you wanted to smoke. And if you went for 6 weeks, you'd have a full month of just smoking full melt Jamaican bubble hash. And let me tell you, man, that is something special. anyone that has genetics, and I get it, everyone's like, oh, they ruined it. Everyone brought their genetics to Jamaica, but Jamaica will grow your genetics differently. And if you want to see your genetics grown differently, like, I don't know, I think it's just a heady thing to be at least have a friend who's growing some of your beans in Jamaica that are like, having these expressions occur. And then you go and see that, you're like, holy shit. The sun above Jamaica is different. And maybe it's a giant hole in the ozone layer. I have no idea, but it is different. That shit expresses some of my favorite hash in the whole world has been from Jamaica, just to say. So, yeah, thank you, Etienne, for coming on and being vulnerable for us and with us and sharing your stories of war and how you turned it around and horses, bringing it back to the horse. That was really cool, dude. Appreciate you. Thanks for showing off those really cool jar inserts from the press club. That's incredible. Shout out to Dr. Mark for showing up first today and getting his fucking mic and his headphones all working.
Yeah, here, let's try this.
Talking
Wilson.
Da-dunt, da-dunt. You had to give one Wilson. You know what? Funny enough, Dr. Mark, I will now get a violation from YouTube because I did before. I have before when Dr. Mark hums something, a song, I get like they try to strike me or they say, oh, such and such Warner Brothers group is now monetizing your channel. I'm like, oh, whatever. It was like a 2-second hum, but I'll accept it, YouTube, because yes, Wilson right there. Wilson, look at that. Oh, the implications. So many. The rabbit hole goes deep, everybody. Don't go down that rabbit hole. May the full melt bless your bowl sooner than later. Thank you to Puffco. Thank you to the press club. Thank you to all the guests. And thank you to everyone who watched. I appreciate you guys. I think there was 300 or 400 of you in there today at one time. So yeah, we'll see you next Sunday. I think we have a pretty good show planned for next Sunday. It might be one of my special shows. We'll see. I'll announce it in the next couple of days. Peace out, everybody.